is up, everybody? It's your boy Legal Mindset here, Andrew Esquire, Florida attorney and resident weeb, and Asia resident as well. So we're going full Asian today. It is fried rice and anime, and I am so happy to be coming back for another episode. The anime stuff, you guys, the weebs out there are legion, and anime content, anime stream has been something that's one of the highest requested things on my channel, period. So I'm always very excited to do it and try to do it in a different way, try to come up with something different. And today, I really wanted to come at you guys with a white pill. We've been talking a lot about Disney, how horrible they are, how woke their media is, how they're getting all these lawsuits, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of you have said, look, I get it. You know, the dismal Disney stuff, the Disney darkness, the depths of the rat cage, it's depressing. But we need some positivity. We need some light to this. We need some white pills. We need some good news. And for that, we're going to talk about anime. And I'm so glad to be joined by perhaps one of the most positive people I know, and a person who every single time I talk with them, I am always like in a good mood because they're just intrinsically a good person and they give off such good energy that I enjoy streaming with them and probably don't stream with them enough. And that is my good friend, Nina Infinity. Thank you, Nina, for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I totally thought you were going to introduce the other guest because that's how I feel about her.
Well, she's a newbie for me. She's a newbie for me. So let me introduce her real quick. So we have a newbie for me. Now, first time I streamed with her was on Nina's stream, I believe.
It was on Toxic Femme, actually. Well, Toxic Femme on my stream because I run it.
Yeah, and you're toxically feminine. So, let's go into that. So, and I mean that in absolutely the best way. But I ran into someone who I met, a new person I stream with, and I am very careful about who I bring on, but I had such a good time streaming with her and talking with her in the short time that we met. And when I found out she was a weeb, I said, oh boy, do we have a stream for you, and that is Carolyn. So Carol, welcome to the channel, and welcome to Legal Mindset.
Hello, weebs unite. Hello.
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
It's great. I'm really happy to have everybody here. And guys, we've got this going on Rumble, on Locals, and on YouTube. So wherever you are, as Nina said in the chat, smash the like button. Make sure you're followed, subscribed, and also make sure you guys are subscribed to Nina. She's got a channel over here, a little old channel called Nina Infinity. You can check that out where she does some fantastic content. Only 23K subs. We know we can get her to 25, guys. We can get her
my God. I've been dropping in subs. I don't know what's going on.
Dropping?
YouTube hates me.
There's been some weird YouTube stuff going on. The beginning of this month was rough for me. I don't know what it was. I think I covered the guy whose name begins with T, and then I got punished in the algorithm for a week or so. But
that's coming back, bro. Did you hear about it?
Oh boy. I will be live trial streaming that for sure. And so will everybody else, by the way. Everyone's going to be streaming that. It's going to be Amber Heard political version.
Of course, but you got to make mad dough on that, man. That's awesome.
We are going to print money from liberal tiers. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. We're going to have fun. I know all the other big streamers are going to have fun. Rakeda, everybody else. It's going to be a great time. So, and I'll have guests on. We'll have fun. We'll have drinks. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Real quick, because you brought my channel up. If you bring it back, I just want to highlight something. First of all, I'm playing Baldur's Gate. I don't know why it says live.
Why are you still live?
I was live right before I got here. I don't know why it says that. That thing's over. But I am doing, if you scroll down, you will see right there, Good News, Infinite Hope, number 150. So tomorrow is the 150th show for the thing for Infinite Hope, for Good News. So please come to hang out if you're
and this is why I liked having you on, because you are the only person who has consistently done, like, honestly, and I'm very surprised because it's hard to do like constant good news, positive streams like every single week, and you stay at it, right? Even when they don't like it as much or whatever, you stay at it, you stay pumping out there, you stay pumping out the good vibes and pumping out the positive news. I really appreciate that. I really like
Thank you. Yeah, we could all use it. And I've always said, even if I never do YouTube again, I'll still be doing this show. Like, I will continue doing it for as long as I'm on the platform. If I stop doing any other show, this one's going to go on because that one's my favorite, and we just all need good vibes. So that's it. I just want to promote that. So thank you. And also shout out to Tom in the chat. That's where you met Kara. Tom from Midnight's Edge is in the chat. So hi, Tom.
Yeah, good to see Tom. Even though anime is not his thing, he is still here for emails. Which
supporting the ladies. Tom
I don't blame you, Tom. I won't use the S word because these ladies are definitely.
I'll say it.
And Senior Schnitz says legal. This is a pre-donation here. So thank you, that's Senior Schnitz. Legal, you get woke Disney wrong. It's all about the power bill. With all that woke stuff, Walt is now spinning in his grave so fast they need to attach some wires and magnets to him to get free power for Walt Disney World. See, we said there wasn't a nuclear reactor in Disney. They had the power to do that. The Walt's head spinning is the nuclear reactor right now.
My goodness.
Powering Splash Mountain. I could see that.
Thank
you, Senior Slits. Also, real quick, these didn't register, but in the interim between last show and now, Torgo the White and Paul Peters became members at the Replay Gang level. So welcome to the Legal Mindset membership. Appreciate all you members of the channel. So before we jump into this format, because this is very interesting, we're going to go through some major woke media properties and kind of get you anime alternatives. Kara, I have Nina's weeb backstory, but I kind of want to know like a little bit, like a little snippet. When did you get into anime? What are some of your favorite animes maybe growing up or like of all time? Like just a little bit of weeb, your weeb CV.
My
we need
cliff
to see your weeb
notes.
CV. Yeah.
Okay,
CV,
so
Yeah. Your weeb V.
that-
It's like, let's see if you even know what an anime is. The trick question.
Well, Nina knows that one of my favorite animes growing up was Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I've been watching that show. I haven't finished the new kind of spin-off of Yashahime. That was kind of one of my first ones that I got into was Inuyasha. That was the one that like my parents were like, no, you shouldn't be watching this. And I was up late at night at 11 o'clock watching it on Toonami, like on low. That way I could still watch it and get away with it. And then I think my first kind of like introduction to anime in general was Spirited Away. That was one of my first kind of steps into the world that is anime, and I've had a huge love for it ever since. My mom got that. Yes, it's still one of my favorite movies. I still
in
cry.
theaters. Did you see it in theaters?
I didn't. I had it on VHS.
I did too.
I had it on VHS. I still have the DVD right here, actually.
Oh, yay! I have that too.
And then my first one was Spirited Away, and then my lovely mother, who didn't understand Studio Ghibli at the time, downloaded Princess Mononoke thinking that it was a Disney princess movie.
It could be.
Then there was decapitation and arms flying off, and that was my second introduction into anime.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
A little different.
A little hard on the PG-13. Really pushing it on that 13.
Yeah.
But it's still one of my favorites. I'll watch anything from Studio Ghibli, and just kind of grew up with that. I was really big into anime in high school. So like of course everybody loved like Fullmetal Alchemist. Brotherhood is the better one.
Brotherhood is better, yes. Superior.
Brotherhood is so good. So good. Cardcaptor Sakura, which I saw your shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, what else was I really into? I wanted those cloud cards so bad. I wanted those so bad.
So good.
But then like I grew up, like I was a massive Pokemon and Digimon fan. So I guess those
Digimon too. That's actually more niche. Digimon is a little bit more niche.
So niche, but I love how she's into that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yes.
I like it.
Love me some Digimon. But yeah, so a lot of like the mainstream stuff, but I slowly kind of expanded as I got older to see what else was out there. Yeah,
and honestly, like I don't like, the one thing I'll say is like I I don't care that people start by watching mainstream stuff. It's not like, you know, like, oh, you're only an anime fan if you started watching some random thing that's not translated and only is available in subs and has no dub. No, I don't care if you start watching Dragon, which like for me is like, well, I watched Dragon Ball, you know, and then Dragon Ball Z, right? It's like, and then I'm like, oh, cool, what is this? Look it up. Dragon Ball Z is an anime. Click on anime. Oh, anime is this whole world of stuff, right? And it opens up a world for you. Or if you saw on Toonami, right? You saw, you know, Inuyasha or Cowboy Bebop or whatever else, right?
Yes.
And that's how you got into it. That's fine. There's no shame in that game. And there's no shame in still
I
liking
have
it. Those are still
zero
good
shame
series
in the shows that I watched.
Yeah, there's no shame in that. I'm not the elitist who's like got the pinky finger. Oh, only if it's an untranslated you know, Korean manhwa, that, you know, is it okay? No, come on, calm down, people.
No,
we need to
I know.
Right here.
Nina got excited about having him because I was showing off like the new figures that I got the other day.
Oh my
so I got Kilala and Jockin and Rin. These are the most recent ones that I got.
I love them so much.
And then, of course, I have like my big Inuyasha statues up there.
Amazing.
So, yeah,
Very nice.
I love me some Inuyasha.
Okay, here's the question that was asked on my locals. It's a very important question, and it's the quintessential gatekeeping question. I love it. Subs or no subs?
I personally,
or rather, subs or dubs?
I typically watch dubs because I multitask.
So yeah, that's
I'm a multitasker. With any show that I do, it's almost always multitasking in it.
For me, it depends on the anime.
Yeah. Like there are some that I'll go out of my way to watch subbed. If they don't have dubbed, I mean, I don't avoid them at all. It's just got to be something I'm into.
Like sometimes, like the dub is atrocious. Like you're oh my god! Like I always name this one, and it's called Your Name. I'm like, dude, Your Name.
I know your
worst dub that I've ever heard in my entire life. I was like, this is absolute garbage. I don't know what they did to this show, but it was terrible.
Yeah, the voice won't match the body. Like it'll be like a very like high-pitched voice for like a guy who's like a big burly dude, or like a girl's voice for a dude, or just the girl's voice will sound off.
And I always say about this too, like that scene. I don't know if you've seen if you know what I'm talking about with the grandma, and when she's explaining the things to the girl with the music's playing, like the voice of the grandma is so bad. Yes. And I was like, it just doesn't create the same atmosphere as the sub one does, like as the actual vocals of the other thing. Like in the other one, I had like tears in my eyes when I was watching it, like the original one. And then
I cried.
When I watched that, I was like, what the fuck is this?
I cried so hard first time I watched Your Name. Such a good movie. So
those are, and that guy's come out with all the disaster. That's like,
have you watched Suzume?
No, I can't.
I watched it in Korea. I watched it in Korea because they released the animes pretty much the same as Japan, because Korea's translations are pretty quick, but they also did in English. So
I'm so sad. I don't get that because I'm in Mexico, so we don't get and it's so crazy because we get all of the releases, but we get them either in raw format or like the one with Spanish subs, and I'm like, mother, I don't speak Spanish. Well, not enough to go and read Spanish subs.
Right, to read Spanish subs, because you got to be quick. You got to be like very quick on the uptake.
Exactly. There's no pause button in the theater to be like, oh, I get this.
Yeah. No, I like all the movies. I mean, yes, there you when you see like, okay, there's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster theme. There's going to be a love story. Okay, yeah, it's a little formulaic, but it's a formula that works, and it still has a journey. It still has an adventure. Like, you know it's going to come around. It has a story arc, and to be honest, that's the key thing that most media today is missing. Right? They're missing those stories, and like even if you're telling the same sort of story or a similar story, if it's a story, I'm down.
Agreed. Agreed.
I mean, Makoto
okay.
Shinkai, he does such a great job of balancing like a very enticing story with absolutely stunning visuals. Like he's just so good
It's
at what
an
he
art
does.
form, man. It's an art form,
Yes.
and like Japan has mastered that for a long time. I thought for a while when Disney bought Studio Ghibli rights to dub the shows, they started to have like, especially with John Lasseter, they had a lot of meetings with Hayao Miyazaki, and I was like, this is going in a really great direction for Disney. Like I was like, this is if they take Hayao Miyazaki and basically be like, yes, master, we'll do everything you say, and actually follow along what he's telling them to do, Disney animation would have just gone to the next level. But instead, they just took over and like they just dubbed the stuff, and they didn't do anything with that creative process or like take anything from the guy. And he's a wealth of information and knowledge. And it's just for shame that they didn't do that.
Well, and it's funny because was it Pixar that used to make them watch all of the Miyazaki movies?
Yes. Yeah, and John Lasseter, because John Lasseter went and met Miyazaki and was like basically enthralled. He was like, "You're my hero." Well, he's
right, but then where did that go? Like you know what I mean? Like
nowhere. Like, that's why it sucks,
right?
Because it was they just basically kind of made a deal to dub them, and then it would have been great if they partnered and actually made animation together, but it just never went anywhere. It's too bad.
Yeah, it is really too bad. $5 from Brandon the Anime Guy. He says, anime and manga are king. So many great TV shows, novels, movies, manga to go around. Recommendations? So many to choose from. Isekai is life.
I recommend you get in here in this freaking
You can get in here, Brandon. Get the link. It's in your Twitter. Check it out.
The link, bro.
You've got the link, bro. So get in here and give your recommendations live.
Somebody said Miyazaki's overrated. I disagree, sir.
No, not at all. Just because, look, Miyazaki, that's one of the ones that's like indisputable based on its universal acclaim. And once again, you don't have to watch every single thing, right? Because obviously for some people, like you're an adult, maybe you don't want to watch, some of the stuff. Maybe you're not a huge fan of, let's say, My Neighbor Totoro or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
but you can watch Princess Mononoke. I'm sure you're good out of that.
Correct. And you can even watch other ones like House Moving Castle stands up.
Kiki still does.
Graveyard of the Fireflies.
Graveyard of the Fireflies wasn't Miyazaki, but yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry. What is it? The Wind Rises.
The Wind Rises. Yes, that was his final movie before he retired. Well, retired because he's out.
Yeah. Because I think he's still already kind of he's been pinned on a couple things since.
He got really annoyed at his son.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm coming back. You fucking ruined it.
Yeah. It's like horrible. Dragon's Treasure Tea for $2 says Isekai is death. And so obviously Isekai, very divisive today. But we're not here for division. Dragon's Treasure.
I forgot what Isekai is again.
Isekai is the reborn.
Reincarnated in a different world.
Reborn.
Oh, that's right.
So whatever it is, now it can be two different versions. You can be straight up dead, like I am dead, or you can be stuck in the video game, right? Or like in the video game where you can't get out right then.
Yeah.
So like it's plausible you're alive, but it's just you're in another world or a game. You're in some sort of interface. Nowadays, a lot of them are a game interface. So even if they're like reborn, there's like a skill sheet. So they're like leveling.
I'm not the biggest fan of Isekai either. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's like
there's ones that are amazing and there's ones that are questionable. What's not questionable is you guys supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Leprechaun Girl, for the $20 super sticker, the Shiba Inu with a chalice. I appreciate that. Always a winner when you support the Legal Mindset. And that lets me do this stuff and bring on lovely guests like Nina, Kara, and also now we are joined by Brandon, the anime guy.
Yay!
Hey, Brandon.
Why, hello there, everybody. How is everyone doing this fine evening?
Good. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I did not see the invite to this, and I appreciate the invite.
Wow.
It was sent to my backup Twitter.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've got it.
You got too many Twitters. You got too many Twitters. You gotta X has got to give it to one of those Twitters. You know, you gotta.
Well, they did give it to my original one, and I'm surprised I got it back, considering who I told to go take the long walk off the short pier. But you know, that's neither here or there. Isekai is life. Quite literally, isekai is life. It is reincarnating.
True. It's reborn. So
it is being reborn.
Okay.
Yes. So hello, Nina. Hello, Kara. How are you doing?
Hello.
Doing good.
Torgo with a white for $2 says Porco Rosso.
Agreed.
Massively underrated. Yes, and that's not a kid's anime. That's not a kid's
Hold
anime.
on.
Nope,
Whispers of the Heart is another one that's massively underrated.
Yes.
Massively.
Yes. So let's start with our theme tonight. And Brandon, the
Wait,
theme tonight.
wait. Kara's
Wait,
getting
you ready?
something.
Kara's
Kara's
whipping it
got
out.
something.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Nice.
nice.
This bag is like 20 years old, but
That is
my
clutch.
sister got this for me whenever
is
she went
clutch.
to the museum in Japan.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I have to
love
go
it.
to I'll do it today if I can, and maybe I'll even stream it. Because there's a Ghibli exhibit in one of the malls here that's still here. So I have to go to it. It's been here it's here for a month. So it's like an entire floor.
I'm so
gonna
jealous.
check that out. Yeah.
Can you go buy me some stuff? Just
Sure. Just
You
the
love
shipping
me.
might be kind of intense.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's on you. You're going to be making Trump money a lot, so that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'm just gonna be rolling in those Trump bucks.
You're going to be
Those
you're
Trump
gonna
stream
be
bucks.
rolling in the Trump dough. So I'm
With
not
like
worried
a
about
platinum grill, you know. So
Oh yeah, I
speaking of
saw that they're going to allow cameras, assuming it gets to that point. Which the way it's going, it's going to get to that point.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
Oh,
get to that
yeah.
point. It's gonna get to yeah. We're getting to a trial on that one. They politically need to force a trial on that one, and I don't want to go too down that road.
No, we're
but
not going to go down
there,
that road.
There will be a trial. There will be a trial,
Yeah.
and we will
Yeah.
stream it, and it'll be great news for everybody.
It's going to
It'll
be
good
great.
stuff.
It's going to be fantastic.
Excellent. The best trial ever.
It'll be huge.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Trial.
Maria Vargas says prefer subs because in Japan there's more emotion, but it
Yes.
depends. I can only watch Dragon Ball in Spanish because it brings me memories of watching after school. Y'all
Oh,
love y'all.
Man,
Love
Dragon
you too.
Ball
Appreciate
in
you.
Mexico is huge. They
Mhm.
fucking love Dragon Ball here.
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. Don't mess with their Dragon Ball. Don't mess with their He-Man either. They have this one other one. They tried to mess with He-Man. He-Man's really big in
Ah.
Latin America. And when they tried to make it into He-Woman, that wasn't.
Oh, didn't
That
go
didn't
over
go
so well.
That didn't go. But with the whole flip on the He-Man movie, that was
Mhm.
really what is it, the Talia movie or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it here. So what I wanted to do was oh, and by the way, the poll, we pulled subs, dubs, or depends. Subs won. 45% prefer subs, 11% dubs, and 44% say depends. So most people are going with primarily subs.
Yeah.
Some of it I get that depends, right? There's some that's really good. Some people brought up Full Metal Alchemist had a really good dub. There's some other dubs that are excellent. If it's fantastic, right? Shout out to Vic, right? I mean, if people are doing a good job,
Mhm.
I'll tune in for the dub. And
Yeah.
especially too, if the characters are more based on Westerners, it actually feels more appropriate to listen to a dub in English versus if it's something that's really intrinsically Japanese. It's weird to hear a dude who sounds like they're from Kansas.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. Like Hellsing Ultimate. That one, with it being set in England primarily and having a primarily English group of
That's okay,
characters,
yeah.
it has to be dubbed. There is one show from this season that I wish that they will do it, but they probably won't. It's called Undead Girl Murder Farce. You have a half Oni from Japan who has a cage user, a detective, a monster detective, who is also Japanese, but they start off going to a French villa, dealing with vampires, end up going to England and meeting Sherlock Holmes and Professor Moriarty, and all of these other English characters, Arsène Lupin. What I would want, but they won't do, is for the dub to get English voice actors, French voice actors, etc., to voice these people to make it work, but they won't do it because I don't think they have it in the stables. They don't have people that can do that.
Yeah, they sometimes don't have enough talent to do it, right? Like talented voice actors that can do it.
Yeah.
Well, there's only so many people that can successfully do voice acting, right? It's a serious skill, and that's why it was like such a big deal to keep the folks that do well and that are accomplished in that field. Sorry, let's kick it off here. I want to get into our theme for today. So today is the replace woke media, because we're very negative about it. And one person who I think we got to start with the peak negativity, and that's our girl, Rachel Zegler, right?
Oh, God.
Obviously, this has been like the crux for the last 3 months, and it's been like dunking on poor Rachel. I mean, and to be honest, she walks into it.
She deserves it.
She deserves it. Like, this is merited, right? But like, Rachel Zegler has probably become the spokesperson, right? For when you talk about woke remakes, whatever. Mm-hmm. She has done such a horrible job. She has earned the right to be the poster child. When you see her face now, you think woke reboot, right?
Yeah.
That she's done that. Congratulations, Rachel.
Yeah. Well done.
So I wanted to start with Snow White specifically. Now, this may be a little bit more difficult, and you guys can go out far afield, be like, okay, this is one just you enjoy or something else. But is there anything that you guys would think of to replace as an anime alternative? Saying, okay, instead of this, maybe it's a different princess story that you like. Maybe it's a different one that has dwarves in it, right? You could even go that direction if you wanted to. There's a lot of different ones that go down that road. But yeah, just wanted to see if you guys have one that you could say, okay, instead of this, we're going to do this. Maybe we'll start with Nina here. So in lieu of Rachel, where would you turn?
Where would I turn?
Yes.
I mean, obviously, I don't have one at the top of my head for Snow White. Obviously, like we talked a lot about Miyazaki right now.
Yes.
So if we're gonna go like, if you're gonna go like kid style, Miyazaki is your go-to usually if you want like that kind of anime, like very I mean, like he's got
I think one specific Miyazaki film I think would kind of fit the theme in a weird way.
Which one?
I think you could do Howl's Moving Castle, because
you could, or you could do Castle in the Sky.
Yeah,
I was thinking Nausicaa.
Nausicaa too. You could, yeah.
Yeah,
like Nausicaa is more like environmental. So it's just it's much more like that. Like I think if you're
the little creatures are like the creatures are like the dwarves in that one, right? Like the creatures that she's allies with.
Yeah. Like the weird sandworm looking things.
The Ohm.
Yeah. Man, it's been a while since I watched that movie.
It's a good one. Though. It's still good. It really holds up.
It is. It's so great. I think I would say Castle in the Sky for me, because it's about the princess who like falls down from the sky, and like she's got the necklace that like you don't know what this necklace is, and she falls into this arms of this very hardworking boy that's trying to make ends meet in this little town, and he just catches her floating down, and there's pirates and there's all sorts of stuff. It's just such a magical movie that I think you would love in all sorts of ways, and especially when they go and they meet the little the big robots, and like he gives them the flower. I was like, like the robots are friendly. I hate robots, but those ones were good. Well, some of them were death bots. Well,
some of them.
You gotta watch it if you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it. So. Huh?
Said like in Nausicaa too.
Yeah, that's true. In Nausicaa too. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things like with those, like especially with those, we can even go most of the Ghibli ones: Mononoke, Nausicaa, and Kiki's Delivery Service, even Howl's Moving Castle. So one of the things that Zegler brought up is Zegler says, okay, we have to make this modern, and we have to be strong and independent. But actually, if you look at the female characters in those movies, like in Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, whatever, they're all strong. None of them are what you would. They're not submissive. They're not like quiet, timid girls that are hiding in a corner, but they're still rounded characters. They're still human beings, and many of those still have a love aspect of it, or like a love arc. It doesn't mean they have to like dominate the dude, right? Or like overpower those male characters, or fight them, or out masculine them, but they still are absolutely fantastic characters, and they're still independent, right? Just not in the way that Rachel Zegler thinks, right?
Yeah, and
in a unique
Sophie
way.
in House Moving Castle, like you just brought up, she's so at the beginning, she's so timid. She doesn't want to do anything. She's like so scared. She's like, oh, like I've heard about this wizard. Like, she's like, I don't know if I want to walk home like by myself, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, it becomes such a journey. And you go through the evolution of these characters through these couple of hours that you're watching it. And it's kind of amazing to see how much stronger they become through the show. I mean, it happens the same way with Princess Mononoke. It happens the same way with, Spirited Away. Princess Mononoke a little bit less because she starts out like just so crazy strong already.
She's pretty
You're
strong.
like,
yeah.
Holy fuck. Like this chick's so strong, but
not invincible.
Not invincible.
Not invincible.
But she becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? She's able to let her guard down with him later on. Like she's vulnerable. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. She becomes vulnerable because at first she's not, and she cannot show her vulnerabilities at all. And then you have the other chick, the evil one, which, by the way, is voiced by the great fucking, what's her name in the dub version? X-Files chick.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. Karen Gillian? No. I forget her name.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson. Thank you. Sorry, I forget.
No, you brought it to my brain. You brought it to my brain.
Yeah, I'm horrible.
Yeah.
I'm horrible.
Gillian Anderson. Her.
Gillian Anderson. No, can definitely see that. A couple of these super chats. Japanese Demon Lord Abari Lucifer says the only acceptable anime dub is Ghost Stories. Okay, well hey, that's the one
that's
you like.
Bad. That's so bad.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I just got another thing popped up in my head. Okay, if you want a really, really good classical movie, this is what got me into anime. This was the first anime that I ever saw in Iran in the theater. Number one, the very first one. I was maybe 5-6 years old. It's called Unico, and it's about a little unicorn, and it's actually fucking amazing movie and an amazing story. And there's 2 movies, and the second one's actually scary. Like it's got scary parts for little kids. I got scared when I was watching it when I was little. But it's so good and it's so cute. Kara, you would still love it. I mean, I'm not even joking. It's fucking great anime. You would love it. So cute.
So Going back in the Wayback Machine there with that one a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, but there's still a lot of good stuff back there.
Superior.
And I think we oftentimes overlook that, in favor of the new stuff because we have like a recency bias. But the old stuff can be fantastic as well. Also,
it's it's a manga. I mean, if you they made 2 movies of the manga, but the manga closes out the show. So if you become obsessed with it, you can always go back and read it. I did because I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I like to watch if there's an anime and the anime is complete, I will watch the anime first and then switch over to reading the entire manga to get more details. But if it's not complete, I go to the manga first.
Yeah, right? I mean, this is like the movies, right? They made 2 movies in the 80s. There's the little.
This is the Unico.
This is Unico. This is the little unicorn.
This is cute as hell.
And he gets basically banned from Olympus because he's so kind and loving, and the gods become jealous of him. So the goddess of the wind has to take him away, and he's not allowed to make friends, or else the gods will find him and basically kill him. So he has to wherever he goes, though, he makes friends because he's Unico and he makes friends with everybody. And he ends up rescuing a princess, or well, not a princess. She's just she's a girl, but it just becomes a really good story. You'll
super wholesome, super
wholesome.
So Kara, do you have any other recommendations? Anything else you might want to say for Snow White? Do you have any other ones? We mentioned some good ones.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I had written down for this was Ancient Magus Bride.
Ancient Magus Bride, yes.
There you go.
So that's
really good.
One I actually just got caught up on this last week. Because I mean, it shows this girl that goes from being ready to forfeit her life. She's sad, and then you see her confidence kind of grow as she grows. And this is one that is, of course, a little controversial because of
why is it
her
controversial
age.
Oh, because she's underage.
Because she was bought by Elias, and Elias is just like, hey, you're going to be my apprentice, but I also want you to be my bride, which they explain that later on as to why he used the word bride and how it doesn't really have the same meaning as like what a lot of people relate it to, just because I mean he's a fae and he's a he doesn't understand humans, and the idea of having a bride or a spouse wasn't really explained well to him, and it was just described as like a partner that you want to spend your life with and grow with, and that's why he chose the word bride. And so you see her kind of grow into her confidence and wanting to live for other people other than just kind of forfeiting her life as sacrifice. And it just shows a good feminine quality, but still showing a girl become a woman in not a girl boss way. Like she's awesome. She's really relatable.
I think that right there, Kara, is a huge thing that is missing from Western media. Is showing
is this
like
over?
Like, what is what over?
I don't think it's over. I know. I think it's simulcast.
Oh, the Ancient
right
Magus Bride.
Thought they just had a new season come out recently.
Yeah, the new season is on.
Maybe the manga's done.
Next. I don't know. I haven't read the manga.
Yeah. Sometimes the manga might be finished.
I usually try to watch stuff that ends.
Brandon's on it.
I need an ending.
Yeah, the most recent episode was last month.
Yeah.
So they probably, or at least the most recent dubbed episode was last month, according to Crunchyroll. So that's what I've been watching it on, and I don't think it's done yet for this season. It's only 12 episodes in out of last season was 24. So
they'll probably do a split with it, and the manga is on hiatus. So
that's what it is. That is what it is. Yeah.
But it's really good.
Very good. So guys, check that out. Kara's recommendation, Ancient Magus Bride. Before we go to Brandon, I'll give you a second to think here, Brandon. Stephen Walk says Slayers, Hack, Record of Lotus War, and Dub Ghost Stories are criminally underrated.
100%.
For 5.
Woo! Yes.
Kogo says Bakano and Psychopaths also underrated.
I
agree.
Have been wanting to watch Psychopaths for years, and I still haven't watched it.
Psychopaths was good.
At least the first season. At least the first season, right? You don't have to watch every single spin-off and OVA and everything else, but like just the first one is extremely good. So
I really want to watch that. I will. I'm gonna watch it. Thank you.
And then Philosopher says all Gives Me are distributed by Disney. Keep supporting woke company hypocrites. No, sorry, and I read all my super chats, so there you go. And they're not all distributed by Disney, and also there's plenty of ways to get it without giving money to Disney. So that
was only from 2000 to about halfway into 2010s is when they were doing the distribution. Right now it's G Kids that has the distribution.
Yes.
Yeah. And they only had the dub rights to dub them basically, and some of them are not dubbed by Disney, so you can still buy those, and they have nothing to do with Disney at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like I'll read every super chat, but I reserve the right to shame
like
you
for example, Princess Mononoke,
so,
that was not dubbed by Disney, and they didn't have the rights to it at the time. So it's just
there you go. New Horizon says no game, no life equals win. For sure. Yeah, no game, no life is actually really good. It's just really fantastic.
I haven't finished that one. I need to.
Crusader Saracen for sending $1 tip on local says, why do weebs mock the furries? They are your brothers.
There's a difference.
No, it's
there's a difference.
That's a first. I've never heard that before.
There's a big difference.
I will still.
Yeah. And then Ben SC for $1 says prayers for you that it doesn't get moved to federal court. Talking about the Trump case. Yeah, I mean, that would be sad because it would remove it from the public eye. And I think we need more in the public eye, especially more transparency is a good thing, not a bad thing.
I think that the media is going to want it in the public eye because they have nothing going on. So I don't know if they're going to move it. They have nothing going on, man.
And Crusader Saracen said Ghibli films replay in theaters annually, sub plus dub. Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I
they went
typically
crazy
go
this year.
through Fandango. Not Fandango. It's
Fathom Events.
Fathom Events. Yes.
Yep.
Fathom Events. Yes. We did that. We New Horizons. We did the argument sub over dub. What the panels think. I think most of us said it depends on the anime. I mean, but typically I go with sub because most are set in a Japanese setting or an Asian setting, and I like the Asian voices better. Like they for me, especially like living in Asia, it's like more congruent, right? But if it's like Black Lagoon, Hellsing, right, or something that's about America, about Western Full Metal Alchemist, where they're supposed to be of European background, it's intentionally a European setting. I'm okay with dubs. That's okay. And if they're good, so there's two requirements: if it fits the theme and if they're good. So typically, I prefer subs. I think most people are probably in the same boat, right? Brandon, you're mostly a sub guy, right?
Oh, for all the modern stuff, absolutely. But something like Cowboy Bebop, it can't be watched in anything other than English.
I agree with that. The sub is the sub is not as good for Cowboy Bebop.
No.
Tank Rat for $100 says, I slept through this. Shame on the Tank Rat. Yes, shame on you, Tank Rat. It requires generous super chatting and gifting of memberships. I'm kidding. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for making sure you made the Weebery today, the Weeb tomfoolery today with my good friends Nina, Kara, and Brandon. So I appreciate you making it today. Butter Biscuit says $10. Don't know what you discussed. Won't want to watch until tomorrow, but that time I was reincarnated as a slime trumps everything you've probably talked about. Best world building anime out there. I will entertain it. And look, there you go. Kara's got it.
There you go.
Oh yes.
Already got it. Some of these ones, like you laugh at the premise because the premise sounds stupid, but then you watch it and you're like, oh my God, this is really good.
Like, is it wrong to put girls in a dungeon?
Yeah.
Or
So I'm a Spider, so what?
Or I watched, I will say, Brandon, I watched I was reincarnated as a vending machine.
Yes.
That was, let me say, okay, it's not my favorite anime, but it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I was like, how can this be good? And I'm like, wait a second, it's actually decent.
The same boat. It's definitely worth at least the one time through, but will I watch it again? Probably not.
No.
Brandon,
it's
were you
just
the
okay.
one who recommended the Handyman one to me?
Oh, Handyman Saito? Yeah,
Yes.
that one was referred to me by my channel member and Mexican Iron Man teaser, a shum. He absolutely loves that show. So I watched it, and yeah, it is great. It's got the different take on being brought into a world, not through death in his case, but it was just different. It's a good one.
I watched the first episode, and it's very clever.
That it is.
Yeah.
So
Jill with Graceful Answers Ministry says, best for kids, wholesome and non-woke. So a lot of these, like we said, Ghibli, right? Like obviously, like you really can't, like all those properties are there for sure. And most anime, I would say, is okay for kids. And honestly, I will say this too, even some of the themes that when they address adult themes, they often do it in a way that's appropriate for kids to think about those, right? If you compare the way Disney is plugging them or woke media is plugging in these hyper adult themes in what are essentially children's movies, it's not even close in comparison. So something like Spirited Away, right? Yeah. You know, or Howl's Moving Castle, the way they're dealing with these, especially girls becoming an adult, very much appropriate.
100%. They just have better tact with it. So
yes. Crusader Saracen said, do not destroy your kin. Why you were breastfed on apostasy together? I think he's talking about furries. No, I do not accept furries. Crusader Saracen will not do it.
Real quick, Andrew, I just going back to that previous super chat. Sure. There's also shows that like are not as famous prior to the creation of Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
So before that, Nippon Animation came out with a lot of series that had to do with family-friendly stuff. They even recreated many classical books, such as Little Women, Tom Sawyer.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of animated versions of these very classical masterpieces.
Maya the Bee.
Yes. Like Pollyanna, there's Perrine. There's so many different ones. And then Hayao Miyazaki, I believe his directorial debut was actually a series called Future Boy Conan. And that's a really, 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 really good show. It's only like 26 episodes. It's a picture of it. This is like original Miyazaki stuff that I highly recommend.
This is really good. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, we're back in the 70s there, and his directorial debut in motion pictures was Lupin III: The Castle of Cagliostro, and that is a fantastic Lupin story, and it is so Miyazaki. You can, with certain directors and with certain time frames, you can tell when they're from just by looking at their character design, and this is definitely Miyazaki.
Yeah, this is definitely Miyazaki, and you can even tell like that this girl's design. She makes an appearance again in Howl's Moving Castle. Like he basically created her again, like for that movie, but his original series was her, like in here, because this is the first one. So I think
and a good
really
game that Ghibli did a lot of the animation for is Ni no Kunai.
Yeah, that was such a good game.
Is also very good and very wholesome.
Both of them too, like there's two.
They're both great. So good.
They're on my list of games to play to eventually stream, but time is not on my
Ni no
side,
Kunai itself is just so worth playing, and like I have sentimental value to it because it was the first game my husband ever bought for me, but so it's just really, really good, and it'll make you cry within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Really.
So good. It's such a good game.
That's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
I'll have
That's
to
good.
play
Yeah,
it
no,
since it's on Game Pass.
I assume this is the game you're talking about right here, right?
Yeah.
That is the MMO. That is not it.
Oh, not it, right? Not it.
Yeah, that is not it.
But it's Ni no Kuni though, like
it. Same the White Witch
realm, right? Or no? Okay.
Yes. There's Ni no Kunai, Wrath of the White Witch.
You got
it. Say that 5 times fast.
Ni no Kunai 2 in I can't remember the Ni no Kunai 2 Revenant Kingdom. Revenant Kingdom is the second one. I love this, like the cutscenes in the first Ni no Kunai game, which is the only one that Ghibli had their hand in, is straight animated like Ghibli movies. 100%. It's just cutscenes. It looks straight from a movie, and it's stunning. And it's got kind of that whimsy from like Spirited Away. Those are the kind of worlds that it has.
Those are sometimes the best. Butterbiscuit says for 10 was so good I had to read the rest of the novel online, which I rarely do. And you better watch subbed. Dubbed is whack. Dub never gets the jokes or emotion right. Besides older anime like DBZ, yeah, DBZ definitely hit it right in English. Like they definitely, because it's kind of easy to do it with DBZ because a lot of it's very extreme. But like I do get that the emotional inflection is not the same. Right, the things they're saying, the way they inflect on words, it's not the same. It's just it's a nature of the language. It's hard to explain, but languages do different things emphatically. So it really changes the way they feel, right, when they're communicated. So I can get that. One more, and then we'll move. Oh, actually, no, wait, 2 more because we got a huge one here from Anoop with a Hundi. Always get the Hundi immediately. It says, I haven't caught anything live in a while, thanks to work. But I can say Ghost in the Shell, Get Backers, and Samurai Champloo have inspired secret references in various real-world engineering projects I've worked on. Ghost in the Shell having the biggest body count. I love when you like sneak in like in a professional sense. You're like, oh yeah, what are we nicknaming this project? And I'm like, oh yeah, we'll nickname this the Masato project. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, nothing. They're like, this is this is Project Vash, and they're like, what? What's going on here? Like, just making like subtle references to anime that maybe nobody's going to get. Or like one guy's going to get, and he's going to look at you, you're going to look at him, and you're not going to say anything. Those are perfect moments.
Project 2501, Industrial Espionage. Yes.
Yeah. But all those are great ones. I really liked Champloo and Ghost in the Shell. Like, obviously, Ghost in the Shell is a huge property. I mean, there's so much out there for Ghost in the Shell. I will say I prefer more hand-drawn versus CG with Ghost in the Shell, but that's my personal preference. So the more that you CG, the less I like it. But
Champloo is also just amazing on just the soundtrack level alone. Like, just man,
it's a beautiful
all of it. Too. It's just so good. It's just so freaking good on so many levels. I love that show.
One more here, and then we're going to move on. And I promise, guys, I will get all the super chats here. But Tank Rat says, I am currently reading 50 plus manga and manhwa titles. I was an anime fan before I knew what anime was back in the 80s as a kid watching Star Blazers. Yes.
Star Blazers. That's so good.
Fantastic old school reference. I actually, one thing I've been doing recently is there's these like manhwa, the Korean manhwas that are recapped on YouTube. So I've been watching some of those videos and like getting all of them kind of recapped as I work. So I'll put that on in the background and I'll work or do something else, clean the house, whatever I'm doing, right? Have that on in the background and like listen to the manhwas. It's actually a really good way to get through a lot of them.
Dude, I love Star Blazers and I love like all the old school like space operas, like, you know, Galaxy Express 999, Captain Harlock, all those old school space opera ones are freaking fantastic. So
yeah, I can't watch the Galaxy Express. That one kills me.
What do you got? What do you got pulled up here, Brandon?
How come?
So Brandon. So Brandon.
Oh yeah.
I was literally just to show you real quick. When I was gonna get to me, I was like, well, if we're talking about Snow White replacements, let's do this one, right? But you've got it over here, so I'll just add
like Snow White the anime. I was looking at that.
There's a literal Snow White anime. Yeah. Right? Have you seen this, Brandon? Have you seen the anime?
I have seen the first episode of it, and it was very well done. It's a short series. It's only 12 episodes. There's let's see, I think there is a second season to it, but it's a little more modern. So of course, it's hand drawn with computer as opposed to traditional hand drawn on cells.
Yeah.
But the base story of it it's good. I liked the art style on it. I thought it was going to be a pretty decent series. So there you go, Snow White.
Well, and hold on though. Here's the crazy thing. Read that first. Can Nina? Can you read the first sentence of the description of this, please?
In the kingdom of Tambron lives Shiryaku. Is that Shiryaki?
Shiryuki, yeah.
Shiryuki, an independent and strong-willed young woman. No, strong independent women.
Oh, she's a strong independent woman. Does that mean she has to hate men and no, she has to fight them and destroy them?
No.
And then hold on. And Kara, can you read the last line of this description?
Watch as Shiryuki finds her place in the new kingdom and in Zen's heart.
Oh,
so there's gonna be love.
I'm sold.
There's a love story. Look at that. She's strong
and the prince is not a lesbian. That's great.
It's not a lesbian story.
They didn't go Willow on it. Nice.
Yay.
No Yuri or Yaoi with this stuff here. We're good there. There is one other one that I would recommend, but I would say more for older kids and maybe adults and adults at heart. Let me share it here because it's so funny.
A wholesome option. Well, while you're sharing, let me read this super chat. Maria Vargas for $1.99. This is on topic, and guys, I will get to all the super chats. If it's super on topic to what we're talking about, I'll pull it up, or if it's a large one, I'll pull it up. But 7 deadly sins equals 7 dwarfs with different sizes. That's actually true. Yeah. I actually really like that recommendation. That's actually really accurate because it's 7, right? So
yeah,
that's a good one. Thank you, Maria. Okay, so here's your dark Snow White replacement.
Yep, and it's got Vic in it.
It's not dark. We're in host other than dark.
But it's for the ladies out there, it's a reverse harem, or they call it that, but it's basically the one female who has the plethora of choices of who she could eventually quote unquote.
So Kara will be really into this.
Yeah, but this one is funny. It's got Vic in it. You can't go wrong with anything that's got Vic in it. So. There you go. Oran High School Host Club.
Yeah. No, very good. Very good property there. Real quick, Dayhop, before we go on to our next movie. Dayhop for $9.99 says, enjoying the positive conversations about good anime. Easy to be caught up in the doom loop of woke Disney failings and culture wars. No, seriously, that's why I bring these guys on. And people were saying in the chat, they're like, I'm really looking forward to having some positive talk, not just some negative talk every single stream, right? Because it gets you down, you start dooming it. Look, life is good. There's really beautiful things in life. There's good things out there. You just have to make the effort to find them. And luckily with a good community and great people like you guys and you guys in the chat, the best community with the based anime suggestions, you can find those. You can reach out and say, hey, what's a good anime? What do you like? And look how many suggestions you're getting here. I hope you guys have your pens out. Saying Voltron was my... Yeah, so Voltron, Macross, Gundam, all fantastic.
Good. All fantastic.
And a lot of guys came in, especially the young guys. I think guys, if you didn't get in on DBZ, you probably got in on either Macross or Voltron or Gundam, right? Those are very...
Gundam, yeah. A lot of people got in on Gundam. I wasn't a huge like mech person, but so I haven't actually seen all of any of these things. Yeah, I gotta kind of like maybe get into it more, but I did like Eureka 7 a lot though. I thought that was good.
Well, you might like some of them because some of them are more short. Like for example, I think you could watch I really like 8th Team. So if you watch 8th Team, where the Earth Federation Chad pilot tames a pink-haired feminist, Xeon pilot. It's literally pink-haired. It's fantastic. Way before its time in pink hair.
Yeah, I remember when pink hair and blue hair and all those things were just anime people. I wanted to have blue hair.
Yeah, because it was an anime thing, not because you wanted to like destroy men. It was because like anime waifus have pink hair. You know?
I wanted blue hair for the longest time when I was like 16, but I didn't do it because I knew I had to bleach my hair and I didn't do it.
Yeah, the 8th MS team is really good, and as you said, it is really short. And there are some shortcuts you can take with Gundam, but I don't recommend to do it.
Or self-contained. There's some I prefer the self-contained stories for people that aren't into it. Like just the self-contained story, and if that's all you watch, that's enough Gundam. Right?
In that case, G Gundam. Why? Because of Tequila Gundam. We gotta have the Tequila Gundam. No. We need a Tequila Gundam model.
So there's a giant Gundam, Nina, that's wearing a sombrero. And
oh my god!
The Tequila Gundam, and this is like it's great.
That sounds like cultural appropriation to the max.
Well, of course, that's all G Gundam is. It's loaded with it, but it's also back in the '90s when people could actually laugh at that.
When nobody cared.
It's comedy.
Yeah,
it's pure comedy. Yeah. People would laugh at it because it's funny. It's like
that sounds funny.
Genuinely funny.
That sounds funny.
Let's go on to the next one here. So the next one I had in the queue is for a woke replacement, right? So we can replace this woke movie is Little Mermaid, right? So we had our brave and stunning Danish queen here represented in The Little Mermaid. And so I thought, okay, sea-based stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there that's in the ocean, that's sea-based. A couple things that popped in my head right away, but I wanted to say, let's perhaps start with Kara this time. So, Kara, for Little Mermaid, did you have anything that would pop in your head as a replacement for The Little Mermaid?
So, I actually didn't go sea-based. The theme that came to my mind was wanting to live in a world that you're not from.
True.
And I put Inuyasha down for that.
Oh, that's true. That is good. That is very true.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So like Kagome going back into the Edo era, and kind of wanting to kind of be she still had like her family and everything back in her time, but she felt more comfortable and she wanted to be with the people that she loved back in time. That's kind of what that's where my mind went.
I think a lot of people can identify with that too. It's very identified. Like sometimes you feel like, hey, was I born in the wrong era? Like this era, like it's like I really like running water and like, you know, being able to, you know, take like an penicillin, you know, and that's great. But I mean, there's sometimes where I'm like, you know what, I might have been, you know, happier in like the 1700s or 1800s or whatever else, right? Like I might have been all right. So it's definitely one good to muse on that for sure. Brandon, do you have anything you would think of as a replacement for Little Mermaid?
Well, since we're talking the most successful female mangaka, Rumiko Takahashi, I'm gonna go with this. I've got it ready for you.
Ooh,
Yurusei Yatsura, the OG of OG waifus.
Oh yes,
yeah, she's great.
You recommended this to me as well.
Oh yeah,
you recommended this to me as well. It was very funny. I watched the first couple episodes.
Oh, it's hilarious. And what makes this particular iteration of the show fantastic, it is new, so it does have all the current animation techniques. They can actually draw Lum's hair with the highlights, whereas back in the 80s they really couldn't, not easily. But this is a show out of time. while it says it's from 2022, the premise of the show is taking the best hits of the original run from 81 to 86 and retelling them. And the show is set in the 80s, and it shows, and it's fantastic. I love all the characters. They all look great. Their uniforms they wear, it's 80s uniforms, 80s everything. And, of course, 80s technology, and it's fantastic.
So don't sleep on any technology. It still works.
Yeah, well, everything we have now, we had then. It's just, different, slower, or analog. But definitely check this one out. It's fantastic. It's a fun show. You'll laugh at it.
Very good. Nina, do you have any thoughts on Little Mermaid?
Mine for The Little Mermaid is actually the animated version of Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid.
Okay.
It's from this 1970s. It's pretty good.
That's very good.
It's really cute. It's a cute anime little movie that you can watch. And it's pretty fantastic. There's also another 70s anime that's like about the ocean. It's called The Sea Prince and the Fire Child. It's like sea themed and it's about little fairies and it's really good. It's really good stuff.
It's weird how when the Japanese the animators decide to remake the stories or to do the stories, they don't decide to completely rewrite the legends. Maybe they'll do them with a little bit of a flair or a taste, but they don't completely replace them, right? So they just say, "Nope, we're doing Hans Christian Andersen. This is Hans Christian Andersen."
This one here is the Sea Prince and the Fire Child, and it's from a little bit later, so it's like from the 80s, and it's pretty good too.
There we go.
That one.
Sea Prince and the Fire Child. That's very much on theme.
Very nice.
That looks
very
cute.
much on theme.
It is
for
very
me.
cute. It's a very cute anime.
I'll spoil mine. Mine's kind of a low hanging fruit here. Ponyo.
Oh yeah,
said
Ponyo.
Ham.
Ponyo is super doable. Of course, Miyazaki gets a lot of the low hanging fruit here, but I still think that's a great go to for replacement if you want to stay in the sea.
Yeah. They love that movie so much they eventually broke it. So it's a good one. It's a good one to have.
A couple.
Can I share one more picture from
sure.
Sea Prince and the Fire Child? It's so cute.
Sure.
Look, she's a fairy.
Ooh, that's very cute. I like the animation style.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, obviously, like there's other ones too, like The Last Unicorn, but that's not an anime. That's
it was Rankin and Bass
American.
Correctly.
American, but it's still really good.
But it's so freaking good.
Still really good. I'll get a couple of these tips and super chats because we got a lot that came in. Crusader Saracen sent 3 $1 tips. I'm just going to read them all together. The next show I recommend is Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. An old film I recommend is Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and it's badass. A great way to legally watch retro anime, including Nadia, Astro Boy, Yurisai Yatsura, Metal Skin Matic, Paddocks, Digimon, Product Echo, Appleseed, Bubblegum Crisis, and Street Fighter anime is use retrocrush.tv. So retrocrush.tv.
Retrocrush.tv. I'm writing that down, man. Thank you.
They're an excellent streamer, and yeah, they do have a paid option, but if you can deal with commercials, you'll be fine.
You guys need to watch Nadia. Nadia's so freaking
And so the last one here, Crusader Saracen says right here, is that to replace Little Mermaid, I recommend Nadia's Secret of the Blue Water. Yeah,
it's so good.
There you go.
That's a solid one as well. Very, very solid.
Amazing anime.
Yeah.
I'm going through this website now. Thank you for that. That's
yeah.
amazing.
See, you're giving gifts live here.
Yes.
Thank you, Leprechaun Gold, for a $50 super sticker with the hippo punch in the air. We're making some money. Appreciate it. Appreciate you making it rain us on the Weep stream today.
Thank you.
As always, this is one of my favorite streams because you guys love anime and you're willing to share these great animes with us. For example, Deha, who says, Nina, check out Macross series since it's about using the power of music to defeat your enemies. Makes Captain EO look like child's play.
Okay, I'll have to check out Macross. I've always wanted to. I just never.
There's a Macross Plus movie. If you watch the Macross Plus movie, it's just a movie. You can watch it on its own, and it's it's shorter than 18, right? So just one movie, you get a slice of Macross that was really made for mass audience. It's made for the public. It's made to be consumable, even if you don't understand Macross.
Okay.
The old movie Do You Believe in Love from '84 is also good. Any of the movie varieties will be good. And trying to find the original Macross in Japanese is difficult because of how Harmony Gold screwed that up and created Robotech out of it and hacked and slashed it into similar but not the same type of thing. And I do want to make one quick mention about the Street Fighter II movie. The movie was great. The animated series was trash.
Oh my god.
Discotheque Media is releasing Street Fighter II the movie fully uncut in 4K.
Oh my god.
We're getting a 4K of Street Fighter II.
Bro, that anime was so bad, and it was so gay. But I mean, like, it was funny.
Yeah, the TV series was trash. The movie's awesome. TV series was awful, and you can tell who animates it.
The series was funny though. Like you could watch it still and laugh. Like I laughed so freaking hard at that scene. I'll never forget the scene because I was having an argument with a friend of mine that we were watching with, and he was like, I was saying, why did they make Ken and Ryu so gay? And he was like, they're not gay. And he was like really adamant about how they're not gay. And then they got to that pool. I think they had just gone to Japan. And they got to that pool. And then like fucking Ken was like, here I am. And he like fucking took off his towel from their fucking flesh. Like, are you telling me they're not gay? And he was just like, my friend broke down at that point.
It's like, it's okay. It's okay.
Gay. Yeah.
But really good is Tankrat, who drops 250 dinar, which is up there in the 100 range, or towards the 5100 range. It says Siriai Gensuki, Spirit Chronicles, Bleach, glad the end of the story is being produced after years. Strike the Blood, SAO, Sword Art Online, The Irregular at Magic High School, I like that one a lot as well. Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and Gate. I think you may mean Steins Gate. If you mean Steins Gate,
Steins Gate's fucking great.
Well, there's actually a show just called Gate as well.
Oh, is there?
Yep.
Okay, then I learned something today.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. It's from like there's a gate that goes from like fantasy Japan into like modern day Japan.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. World changey. That's good.
World changing. Very
Here
good. So appreciate that
for you if you want to show it.
Gate is good isekai, says
This
Carlos.
is it right here? Gate?
Yep, that's Gate.
Okay. And it is isekai. A military fantasy, Ginza, monsters. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I've actually heard of this one. Okay.
Yep.
This is the one where they go through. So it's like dragons versus tanks. They had like fighter jets and dragons. Like they did, like it's like what would happen if like tanks rolled up in a fantasy world. By the way, they like slaughter everybody, right? It's like the fantasy armies like try to mass attack and they just get destroyed.
Wow.
Like, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's very, very hilarious. So yeah, Gate, very good anime. I have seen a lot of clips of that. I haven't watched it all, but I've seen so many clips of that. I pretty much know the plot of that movie. Butter Biscuit for $10 on Local says, I'm going to get back to reading my martial arts manhwa. I'm going to watch tomorrow while I deliver mail, but I just want to drop some of my favorites before I go. This list is specifically for y'all so I'm not talking about old ones. Sports anime is Yowamushi Pedal and Hayu, now Isekai, Ari Fueta, and I'm Standing on a Million Lives, 7 Deadly Sins, I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, I Quit Heroing, Mushoku Tensei, Rising of the Shield Hero, ReZero, Genius, Prince Guides to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. That is one of my favorite animes ever. So great. And then My Isekai Life, I Gained a Second Class, Became the Strongest Sage in the World. Yeah, all great stuff there. Really great suggestions, Butter Biscuit. Thank you. And thank you for the Locals tip. So appreciate y'all. You guys are going hard today. One last one before we move on. This is from Crusader, who says, I saw Macross Plus in the theaters, directed by Watanabe, music by Yoko Kanno. Absolutely amazing film experience. Yes. So Nina, see this. This is the one you do, Macross Plus. So
Macross Plus.
Macross Plus. It's a movie. It's fantastic. Like it's made for wowing you as a movie, just by itself. So
okay.
yeah. So good to go there. All right. So we'll move on here, and we'll catch up with all the chats at the end, guys. But we got to move on because we've got more woke stuff to replace here. The woke stuff does not stop, and of course, we have the lovely, the amazing Phoebe Waller-Bridge in Indiana Jones.
Boo.
So here's one that will be very interesting because Indiana Jones, I think of, archaeology. I think of, going into the past. I think of old relics. I think of adventure, maybe a little bit of fighting, right? Maybe punching some Nazis occasionally. A lot of different ones you can get wrapped up in there. But I guess I'll start with Brandon since I'm rotating here. Brandon, for an Indiana Jones type anime, where would you turn if you said, you know what, I'm not down with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but where would you go with?
All right, for this one's a little tougher, but this is one that it looks like it's for kids. It is not. It is rated TVMA, so this is specifically for mature audiences.
This is a spicy version.
Spicy
You're giving
one.
us a spicy one.
Yeah, so if you'll pop it up there, I've got it ready for you.
Yeah, sure. I got you. Right, go right ahead.
Made in Abyss.
That was going to be my recommendation as well. Made in
Wait,
Abyss,
this is a spicy anime? That doesn't look spicy at all.
TVMA.
Oh, this
I
is
haven't watched this one.
Wait, hold on. You have not seen this one, Nina?
No.
Okay. Brandon, can you explain why it's spicy? It's not because it's sexual. It is not sexual. It's Brandon, maybe you can explain why it's
the amount of adventuring and violence that occurs while traversing the abyss is it's very bloody.
Oh, so it's just violence. Okay.
It's violence and pain. And in fact, a lot of the characters, they're made to look like very young and kind of innocent and whatever. So it's like these like young looking people that are like suffering horrible fates. Right? They're
I don't know if
like
I like
children.
that. Usually those kind of animes actually bother me. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I'll be like.
Right.
All right. In that case, let me do an alternative. I'll do
there's lighter hearted stuff, but it will make you cry.
No, but I mean, like other people like that. I'm not a huge fan of that style, but like, I like it when they're more adults, like Elfen Lied. Like, yes.
Here we go. Yeah. In that case, let's do this one. It's one of my favorites, and I can't go anywhere without talking about Teacher, and of course my little black cat Fran.
Nina's a softie.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
true.
reincarnated
I am.
as a sword.
I'm sorry. I am a softie. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
This one is a really fun show.
Oh, okay. You know what? You told me about this last time, and I do want to watch it. Okay.
Yeah. It is really good, and we're finally getting a second season. It'll be coming out in January. And the manga has been near impossible for me to get from my local dealer. They sell it. They can't keep any of it in stock. So that's an easy one. This is an absolute worth watching. Here's what I'll say about it as far as listening to it. The Japanese language works better with this, but the English dub is serviceable. So for modern anime, it gets a C. So if I would say watch it in Japanese first, and then if you want to watch it again, and we'll doing some other stuff, yeah, you could do it. You would be okay with it.
Okay.
Cool. Very good. Got a super chat here from Torgo that says Bakano will be your alternative for Indiana Jones. Got Bakano over here. Yeah, sure. I think that can fly. I'll give one of my recommendations because I have another one here. Other than I was going to say Made in Abyss, that's the adult version. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, because they're in Egypt, they're kind of moving around and they're punching people. They're having martial arts fights. Very Indiana Jones physicality. So I think JoJo could definitely do it. Look at that hat. Is that not an Indiana Jones style hat?
That is an Indiana Jones style hat.
I'm just saying.
Not for kids, but it fits.
Yeah. Nina, any thoughts on Indiana Jones?
Ooh, okay. I don't really have like a really hardcore adventure. So I guess like maybe Conan would be, because it's the one that we've mentioned before, like Future Boy Conan was very adventure-y. So like that one for kids, I think that would be good. But I guess if you want to go adult, like because now people have called me a softie, and now I'm like, okay, now I got to step up my game.
You got to prove your chops. You got to be like, okay, I'm hardcore Nina.
Yeah. So okay, so 3x3 Eyes is one of my like go-tos for violent anime that are like
3x3 eyes.
Yeah, 3x3 Eyes. It's still like it still has to do with the same kind of themes though, because you're talking about Atlantis, like we're talking about a different civilization. You're talking about different kind of like basically endless like immortal beings, that kind of thing, and it's pretty violent. So I think you guys would enjoy that. I think to me it's better like this kind like I like violence and stuff like that when it comes through adult form. That's usually the only reason that I would say it's better.
Well,
in that
I think it fits a certain theme, right? Because if it's like, for example, Berserk, like I can watch Berserk all day because that's the theme. That's what it is. It's adult.
Exactly.
It's war. It's talking about like, you know, a lot of like deep, like there's a lot of philosophy, psychology there, but it's about adult topics. It's not like, for me, it's hard when it's like, okay, is it like, you know, involving children or animals or something like that? Then it becomes more difficult. It's kind of like why for people Guardians of the Galaxy didn't land, right? Because they right? You know,
I did share a screen so people can see
sure.
a
3x3 eyes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It's got a lot of stuff, and there is two. So it's like the first one I think is only like 4 or 5 episodes, and then they wanted to finish it up, and then it came out with an OVA like years later, and they finished it up with like another 4 or 5 episodes. So the animations are completely different, but it's updated for the second half, which is the OVAs, which is nice. But I'm actually really glad that they came out with the update because I was like, I need an ending for this. I was dying, and then they did come out with an ending.
I love it when they will actually do that. When they be like, no, here's an ending.
Yeah. You know, we're not gonna yes, it is only like 9 episodes. It's not that long.
Right.
Steven was saying, yeah, it's not that long. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes for the first part, and then like 4 or 5 episodes for the second part.
You can tell a fantastic story in 10 episodes or less.
Yeah. You could.
You don't need,
but it was rare back then. It was rare back then because they usually stretch it out like to 24 to 36 episodes, sometimes even more. So it's actually 3x3 Eyes. Funny story, by the way.
You can tell by the way, Nina, I can tell you're a weeb when you know literally that the magic number was like 24. That was always like the season length number 26. Was 24. I can tell you're like, you know, you're like it was 24 or 36. It's like, oh man, Nina knows her stuff. Exactly
well, the funny part is that was my yes. And that anime, like 3x3 Eyes, was my introduction to violent anime. So like Kara, you said yours was kind of like Princess Mononoke, more or less. Mine was 3x3 Eyes, and I was like 12. And it was very traumatizing. And I went and rented it, and I remember the guy at the video store, and it was a video, it was VHS, it wasn't even whatever. The video store guy was like, we can't rent this to you, bro. Like you're too little. Like this is adult stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a cartoon. Like, give me the damn movie. And they're like, no. So I went and got my mom, and I was like, I want this anime. Like, I like the cover. I want to see it because it had a princess on it and everything. I was like, ooh, I want this. So I made her rent it for me, and then I went and watched it, and I was like, literally like, and I just, it was like I was like, what the fuck did I do?
I was not prepared.
No, there's like this one scene where this chick is like tied down and she's naked, and like this demon is like licking her in the middle, like between her breasts, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I like right before that it was all, you know, Sailor Moon and just, you know, bubbly stuff. And so it was pretty crazy. But as I was talking, I reminded myself of another very adventurous one that has an ending that's amazing, and it could also be considered isekai because it's different worlds. It's about a girl that gets transported into another world, and it's a fucking amazing anime, and it's called Fushigi Yugi. And if you've ever seen that, you got to watch that shit.
Great anime.
Also has rape in it.
Well, and that's, you know, look, I don't mind people addressing real, like if they address it in a like real world issues in a real world way. I will never have a problem with whatever it is, whether it's murder, whatever else. Like that's the stories are supposed to address these really difficult things in the human experience that are bad and ugly, but they're supposed to.
They don't show anything though. That's the thing. They don't they don't show the rape and Fushigi Yugi. It's just kind of like hinted at and discussed, and it's happened, and they talk about it, but they don't really show it. And then somebody else mentioned 12 Kingdoms in the chat, and I fucking love that anime, but my God, I hate the fact that there was no ending to that shit.
That one bothered me, and that leaving that just like hanging there, really bothered me.
It hurt me to a point where I made myself a vow that I'm never watching another anime without an ending. So that's where that comes from. It comes from 12 Kingdoms.
Never getting an ending.
Never.
Over here in the Rumble Ghetto, we had a $10 Rumble rant, which is powerful anime movies to watch: Graveyard of the Fireflies and Barefoot Gen. I have not heard of that one. Both deal with the same time era, but man, does it require time between watchings. Yes.
So I cried for 3 days straight with Grave of the Fireflies. 3 days.
Yep.
Would wake up crying. Like, I was like...
Yeah, they're not movies that you want to watch to pick you up, so.
No.
Yeah.
Do not fucking watch that with your kids, okay? Like, people have made that mistake with Grave of the Fireflies because they're like, oh, it's Studio Ghibli. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to watch this with my kids. And then, no.
Do your kids like firebombing? It's like, no, like, let's not
do it.
Let's not. The whole anime is for kids meme is so dumb. It's so dumb. So dumb. But what's not dumb is my new member here, Joe DeFettel. Welcome to the replay game. Welcome to my membership program. Appreciate they have all the access, all the emojis. We're going to update them with Disney emojis soon. That's coming very, very shortly. But appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate you joining and appreciate you coming on board. A copy of Kitty says, thank you for mentioning so many of my favorites. Listen, when you have 4 weebs to the max, you're going to get a lot of diversity here. We've even got a testosterone estrogen balance. So
I know,
you're going to get
this is the perfect stream. This is the perfect stream.
You're going to get a little bit of the shonen and a little bit of the female slice over here. You get a little bit of everything. So it's absolutely fantastic. Let's get a couple more of these. Tank Rat says, has classic Akira been brought up?
Oh, it's a failure on all of us that it hasn't.
No, but I mean, it should always be brought up. Now, would I
always
use that as a replacement for any of the ones I mentioned so far? Not really, but I think Akira stands on its own. I think Akira is Akira. It actually popularized, it's pretty much credited as popularizing anime in the West.
Yes, it is.
Otomo's a genius. And actually, I just saw a thing on Twitter. One of my weeb friends found a news blurb saying that they're going to be doing a full uncut re-release of the manga.
Oh.
So get your pocketbooks ready and pick that up.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's definitely something good there. Pink Rat for 100 dinar says, Ari Fuerta from Commonplace to the World's Strongest, in another world with my smartphone, only 2 that I can think of that compare to Indiana Jones. Okay, let me look up Ari Fuerta. That one sounds familiar.
It's fairly recent, about the past 5 years, I think, for that one.
Okay, there's an eye patch and a bunny girl, so I think I'd be in.
That's
like when I see this is the image that gets pulled up, I'm like, yeah, I'm
there.
I'm in for that. That's my vibe. I'm down with that.
That's funny.
Thank you, Tank Rat. Appreciate those good suggestions. Carlos Estrada says, sports anime. Welcome to the ballroom and baby steps. I have not heard about that.
Cool. I'm not a huge sport anime person.
You aren't?
But thank you.
Usually,
no.
Okay, Kara, are you a sports anime girl? That's shocking because I honestly feel like it's made for the girls. Like for example, the Corona no Basque, like that one was all about the girls, and I think it was girls who like to ship the guys, or like even it's weird of shipping the guys with the other guys. Maybe it's a weird anime thing, but yeah.
I've never been to it except for when I was really little. My first crush ever was an anime in Iran that I watched, and it was called Futbolistas in Iran. I don't know what the fuck the translation of it would be in
hilarious.
Japanese, but it was about like the soccer team, and like the bad team's goalie was like the bad boy. I had a crush on him. And so yeah, I got a huge crush on him, and then I made my girl cousin write me letters from him, and she would mail me it, and I would like open it and pretend he's written me letters from far away. It was very cute.
Very, very adorable. Very adorable. Thank you for the $10 super sticker, Leprechaun Gold, and then Jennifer Douglas for 5 New Zealand says, if you want a fairy tale alternative, consider Princess Tutu. Saving the prince, though, the power of love and ballet. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Well, honestly, like, I don't mind if the princess, like, if it's a good story, I don't mind if the princess saves the prince, right? But in most animes, even if that does happen, right? Even if they do bail them out, right? The princess bail them out. It's not in this way that's to emasculate the dude. It's like to inherently help them because they're compassionate and care about them and like have a deeper connection, right? There's like something that's deeper on a moral level. It's not out of this haughtiness. It's not this Mary Sue, I'm better than you attitude that you get from most modern properties. And that's a perfect transition to the Mary Sue, which I'm going to kick it over to Nina for here, which is Rings of Power, right? Speaking of Guy Ladriel. And our super diverse Middle Earth that was somehow purged between the time of this and the Peter Jackson films.
Kill me now.
Somehow the ethnic cleansing happened. They're gonna have to explain that. But yeah. Did you watch Rings of Power at all, Nina? Did you like?
I watched the whole fucking thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I freaking like. I reviewed every single shitty episode on my channel. It was painful. It was a painful watch. I don't think I'm gonna do it again. I don't like it wasn't enough for me to do it again, like the second time around. So I'm just like, and it really sucked. Like it was so bad. So
you would have to write me such a fat check. Like I would have to be like, honestly, the paycheck would have to be on the level of Get Be Heard or Trump.
I didn't get paid enough. That's why I was like, I didn't get paid enough for this shit. So I'm not gonna fucking do this to myself again. But course, the alternative to it would be the record of Lotus Wars because
it's weird how I had this pulled up right next to it. Right?
Yes,
this is like the 1-for-1. like let's just get rid of that wokeness and let's just go to not only a great fantasy replacement but a classic that holds up to this day, right? Will hold up as a fantastic anime in a fantasy setting that just all the vibes hit right, the story hits right. There's so much there. There's so much meat on that bone for you to dive into.
And if you want to continue that trend, you can go into the Legend of Crystania, which is in the same world of Lotus, but it's like basically like an offshoot, and it's also really, really good. If you want to watch Lotus, there's 2 versions. One is like the 13 episode original one, which I love and I'll never stop loving. But if you want to watch like a little bit more meatier version, that's the second one, which is I think about 24 to 26 episodes. I forget exactly which one. There you go. That's the Legend of Crystania.
Yeah, you could say it's got the same dark elves and elves and everybody else.
It's based in the same universe of Lotus. Like it's got the same everything. So you'll kind of understand what's going on there. And then but I do really, really like the second Lotus a little bit more. Just a little bit because,
the more episodes?
Yes. Just a little bit, just because it's got more and you get more of the dark elves and stuff like that. So I think it's cooler in that sense. But I'll never stop loving the original one just because it's so short and sweet. Like you could just do like 13 episodes. It's not a big deal. And you get all of it. So it's very good.
Well, yeah, it's good to understand a little bit more of like the background, like what's going on with the evil people and why are they evil? You know, like let's understand this a little bit better.
Yeah. Another one that I would highly recommend. It's not about this though. It's not about like fantasy kind of thing, but sometimes it just comes into my head is the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes.
Which may have perhaps
There's
gone into like the
anime
more
version.
of a Indiana Jones vibe-ish one, but like I think the Count of Monte Cristo, the anime version, was so freaking good.
The Gankutsuo,
Yeah.
the Count of Monte Cristo, I really like that one a lot. And
Yeah.
the thing is, and I'm just gonna pull up like the Google images on this because like the aesthetics of this was really cool in doing it in like a kind of like space opera, but like this what is that art style, what was that art style called, like the turn of the century art style, like Art Deco almost, right? It's got like a lot of like weird Art Deco looking motifs, and just the all of the visuals on this are like absolutely appropriate for the Count of Monte Cristo. So yeah, this is a fantastic recommendation.
Yeah,
absolutely,
very entertaining.
Great one there.
Have you seen that one, Kara?
I haven't. It looks interesting though.
It's funky, man. The art style is so funky. Like it took me a minute to get into it because the art style was so crazy. But then I was like, man, the story is freaking good. Like the story was so great. So
speaking of great, Caleb Wiley says, Filthy Frank said it best. I feel you guys. My favorite anime is Toy Story. Corey in the House, airplane instruction video from the 80s, Seinfeld. We all like the same. Anyways, y'all are great. No, seriously, appreciate you, Caleb, and appreciate your super chat and having fun with us here today, this morning. I think a lot of guys are having fun today. Kara, fantasy anime. You get one, can't go, you know. Do you have
Danmachi.
Danmachi. Do I know that one?
It's wrong. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Man, I had not seen that.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Try to pick up girls in a dungeon.
Yeah.
You know? Never. It's not always successful.
Not always successful, but that's one of my favorites. That's up there. I mean, Miss Ryu and Miss Aina, they're both great elves. If you want a good elf character, you got those two. Belle is just a adorable character. Then you got Hestia with the big old boobies.
Oh, we gotta have that.
She just wants to be like all cozy with Belle so bad. This is one that I really enjoyed. It's maybe not the most family friendly, but it's very fun. I really
cute.
really like this one. It's really good.
It's a very cute one. Carlos Estrada says decent anime isekai, Grimgora Fantasy and Ash. Okay. I've not heard of both those, but we'll check it out. Brandon, what would you have for your fantasy pick if you're slotting in something to a place?
If we're going traditional sword and sorcery fantasy, I would have to go with Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, because it is the most mature out of all of them as far as the story. And this is one that's going to be going forever. The light novel is like 27 volumes large already. From what I understand, the author just got started. So we're talking potential One Piece level length type of thing.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
See, I'm with Nina on this. Like, don't say One Piece level length, because when you
that's
say
what
One
it could
Piece
potentially
level length,
be. I'm
that's
out.
too long.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. I want something that's long enough, but it comes to a conclusion, right? So
I'm telling you, like 1 to 13 episodes, bro. Short and sweet.
Well, in that case,
you can do
this
24.
one's been done.
24 is okay. I'm okay.
26 is fine.
This one, the second season just started, but they're doing it in cores. So technically, the first season's 24, 26 episodes. But this is another one that Shum told me I had to watch, and he paid for me to watch it, so I've watched it, and it's fantastic.
And I think people get overly. This one got over a lot of hate because of the guy. He starts out, he's like a neat, in the beginning, so he's a little bit of a pervert, and he's when he's with the ladies, a little bit of
I don't mind perverts.
Yeah, but once again, the thing is that
Yeah.
It's his character flaw, but he overcomes it, right? It's like in the beginning, he starts this kind of shameless pervert, and you see he becomes like a pretty much a good, like he's a good guy. He gets beyond that, right? Like he's still interested in women. Obviously, he's not interested in dudes, right? But he's like that part of his character goes down, and he genuinely cares about these people and wants to protect them. Yeah, in the beginning, it's a little weird when he's reincarnated and he's checking out his reincarnated mom, because it's not his real mom. You know, he's like, oh, she's got big boobs. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's a little weird at first, but then eventually it's like, wait, he cares about his family, and like his family that raised him becomes his real family, right? Like over time, because
more
he was
so than his
isekai,
real life.
right?
Yeah,
he's more than his boss, says Fanto. Okay,
yeah, his real life was terrible, and in the first few episodes, he does overcome one of his biggest things, which is agoraphobia. He had struggles with going outside because of what happened to him in his prior life. But as far as a traditional setting, this one. Now, I was going to say One Piece because I'm going through One Piece. I'm 150 in. I am going to finish reading One Piece. I am going to finish watching One Piece. And I'm even going to watch the Netflix One Piece.
Oh no, yeah, you got a lot in. If you're going through everything, that you're in for like that's like I think it's a year. Like if you were actually watching One Piece, you would be like a year without sleeping. You would be watching One Piece. It's a lot.
Is this one like adult, or is this one like?
Yeah, this is TVMA. This is it's got the magic words in it.
It's got the violence is not, the violence is adult, right? But I wouldn't say it's not once again, it's mature type of content, but it's not like hentai. It's not
no, it's fine. I was just wondering if it's like the other one where it's like super violent.
It's definitely TVMA. This is more dialogue driven as compared to action driven. So this one's definitely for adults. Don't show it to kids. And if I was gonna do one that is actually a fantasy, but in a place that once existed, I've got it here, and it is fantastic. Vinland Saga.
Oh yes,
I really want to watch this. I've heard about a lot of this.
Very good, very good.
It's on my watch list.
Yeah, it's on my watch
now,
list too.
It's not 100% historical, but it's like
it's not finished. That's why I'm like, God damn it.
And
the places that it's at.
Yeah, the places they're going and the notes, and you know, it's kind of crazy. People forget that this whole history of England, which is being buried beneath the history of people saying that the kings and queens of England were actually black. But there's this whole time where England was like pretty much taken over by the Vikings, and people forget about that. That's a huge part of English history. But who knew about that? Right.
So, I mean, I brought up Fushigi Yugi before, but a lot of people are bringing it up now. So I guess this would have been a good time for it to be brought up. So that's a good choice too. Kara, have you seen that? Have you seen Fushigi Yugi?
I haven't.
I'm telling you, you'll like it because you're into kind of like the same stuff I'm into for like Inuyasha. I think you'll love it. It's really, really good. Yeah.
And I think everybody out here is loving it because Ted Park dropped $10, says it's great to hear you discuss anime. Sometimes complex themes require many episodes to explore. That is true. If it's a deep psychological topic, something like that, you would need several episodes to really get deep on it and to get into those characters.
I don't know if One Piece is like that, but I can.
It is
one that's like that. Monster is like
Monster
over 50 episodes, and that one's very good, and it's very deep, and you need that character development.
Let's see. Jack White says on fantasy, fantasy recommendations: 7 Deadly Sins and Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan. Okay.
I guess we could go. I'll give a partial recommendation because it does push a lot of the boundaries, and that's Bastard, heavy metal dark fantasy. If you love the 80s and you love 80s metal references, that show's for you.
Very good. And I know you have to go, Brandon, very shortly, so I want to get to our next one and I'll give it to you to lead off with this one, which is obviously we've got a lot of fatigue with the MCU, so let's replace the MCU or Marvel, right? So instead of going to watch the Marvels, instead of the next, Control Alt superhero, what would you replace with the MCU? Well, we'll replace the MCU with an anime. I'm sorry.
This one, I could state the obvious, which of course is going to be My Hero Academia.
Yes, I literally had that pulled up right here. I think My Hero Academia is literally the MCU, but done in a Japanese way. But the story is going to conclude, right? So
yes,
it's not.
Let me know when it does.
No, it's gonna. No, but Nina, it is going to conclude. The author said he wants to wrap, and he's not his intention is to conclude it, not to drive it on forever. So I think it's got another like season or two in it. Obviously the anime trails behind the manga, but the manga is not going to go for too much longer. It's almost there. So I think we're going to see a conclusion on that. So I'm much more confident about My Hero Academia getting an ending. And I think if you're looking for something like bread and butter, like it's My Hero Academia. You can pretty much get almost anybody into that. And the reason you can see that is that's why they have movies. That's why the My Hero Academia movies are coming out on the regular.
So. Sure, yeah.
So yeah, that one's the obvious, but you'd have to go back to the 70s and the 80s for a lot of the old Super Sentai-ish type of teams, like the Voltis 5 or Voltis V, Go Lion, aka Voltron. Any of those would fit the bill, but this one's more of a comedy and more of a love story that you wouldn't necessarily think would work in a Super Sentai type of setup. So I've got it there ready for you.
Okay, let me share that real quick.
It's called Love After World Domination.
Oh.
And it was
interesting.
It was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. So you get what happened. Basically, this is what happens if the Red Ranger was to date Rita Repulsa. But Rita Repulsa was not a repulsed. She was absolutely a stunning, knockout, gorgeous hottie.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's
you
funny.
Can make you know what? You can make an anime version with a hottie Rita Repulsa. I think that would work. I think that would fly.
Yeah. This one was from last year.
Are you telling me that you want to misunderstood Rita Repulsa? Get the fuck out of here, okay? She's evil as shit. She's repulsive as shit. Unless you're saying like she can be hot like Amber Turd, and then she's like repulsive because she's like shitting on beds or something. Then
she's not really evil. She just comes from a family who's always worked for the evil corporation that's trying to take over the world. And of course the superhero team, they go by dessert names. They're the Gelato 5.
That's funny.
But yeah,
dude, I would watch this. This actually sounds great.
It's hilarious. It's funny. I hope we get a second season, but this is just one of those that it's one of those that gets that season, and with as good as it was, it should get another season, but I doubt it will. So for this one, well, the manga is finished, so if you want to, it's not a very long one. It's only 6 volumes. So that would be this should be one that should be finished with the second season of anime. It should be able to do that. But the first season, it was funny. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, so this one is the alternative to your traditional 5-based team. Oh, and you can't forget Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann. You know, the drill that pierced the heavens. I like it. I like it very much.
Yep.
Very much good. Believe in the me that believes in you.
That's right.
I think that's a very good one. So I appreciate that.
Gurren Lagann. I gotta watch that.
It's a character story. It's not a mech story. Like I really like you get.
I think I would like it actually.
And it's a white pill actually. Like Nina, that's why you would like it, because a lot of it's actually the reverse Evangelion, right? Where Evangelion is like the solace, the loneliness, the despair, the abandon. It's the opposite. It's like slap you, get in the robot, let's do this. I believe in you. You can do it.
I like that
believing
kind of
in
stuff.
yourself and the power of believing in yourself. Shout out to my good friend Dragon's Treasure T, who I think was on the stream with us before, Nina. And he was one. He had a fantastic video. His best video is probably on Gurren Lagann and the message of Gurren Lagann. The positive.
Absolutely.
That's great.
So,
I love that kind of message.
Yeah, I mean, I love it when people will watch something and they like want to get back in the gym, or they want to go, they want to go do something they didn't want to do before. They want to start a new hobby, a new job. Like that's good. That's good stuff. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty one too. Animation's good on it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. It looks great.
It's very good. Crusader Saracen for $1 says, for fantasy anime, I recommend Slayers. Yes, Slayers is good, and comedy.
Slayers is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's very good comedy. Real quick on Rumble, 2 $5 super chats. I'll just combine them from Durumuth, who says, Legal Mindset, Barefoot Gen deals with atomic bomb on the Japanese side, tough stuff. And Food Wars, ... enough said, mic drop. I think I've heard of Food Wars.
The food is so good. Well, if tequila makes your clothes fall off, the food does that and more. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
It's funny. It's definitely not for kids.
Okay, so it's mature only. Food Wars is
Yes.
mature.
Yes.
Rated mature. Okay.
Absolutely.
Very good. Nina, Marvel.
Okay.
You got to replace Brie. Who's coming in?
Oh my god. Well, I mean,
really strong independent woman?
obviously, it's Sailor Moon. Like,
Oh,
girl power team.
Very good.
You want like the ultimate girl
The
power
real girl
team.
power.
The real girl power team is Sailor Moon. I don't care who you are, where you're from. Sailor Moon is your girl. Obviously Cardcaptor Sakura too. Like she's got it going on. She's great.
Hold on, let me pull this up here because I was very remiss. This is from earlier, and guys, I will get backlog super chats, but I want to make sure they're relevant. Nate Witham said, "Cardcaptor Sakura is an excellent story that handles some heavy topics maturely.
Yes,
Recommend for kids and adults. Just avoid the 4 kids dubs."
Agreed.
100%.
Agreed so much to this, Nate, because it's so funny because we were having this discussion with my husband like earlier tonight because he never watched Cardcaptor Sakura. I made him watch Sailor Moon, but he would just refuse. Like he was like, I absolutely will not watch this. And I was trying to tell him like, it's weird with Cardcaptor Sakura because you think that it's just like this little kiddie show where like she's just like, oh, like, you know, like it's like a Pokemon style, like I choose you, like, you know, I'm gonna capture all these cards, blah, blah, blah. But it's got a lot of serious themes. It deals with, you know, even like back in the day, it talks about sexuality, it talks about all sorts of themes, like it's a coming of age story. So it talks about a lot of different things. It talks about finding yourself, finding love, like understanding who you are. It's a very like it does deal with a lot of adult themes. So I think everybody would like it. But I mean, obviously though, like there's a lot of made like superhero, like Marvel stuff style done in anime form as well. So like, I mean, you could always go and watch like Batman animated series or like anime series or like X-Men. They've done so many different kinds of anime with like actual Marvel superheroes. So I don't think you'll ever lose out by watching anime style Marvel.
I mean, things like DBZ is essentially like these people had powers before there were powers, right? You know, it's like, you know, these are things that Japan's been doing for a while, you know, in terms of the perception. They're just maybe they're not perceived in the superhero light, right? Like obviously superheroes are distinctively new American thing from American comics, like in the American style, but they have these people with superpowers. That's been something that's been around for forever.
Exactly. So, but if you're looking for magical girl stuff, then Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura are your girls.
Bluefire for 5 says, good superhero anime, Tiger and Bunny, Samurai Flamenco, Scryad. 3 different approaches to superhero superpower genre compared to MHA.
Ooh.
Yes. So different styles and different audiences for those as well.
Scryad is really good.
Some of those are a little more adult. Kara, did you have anything to replace anything else we mentioned? I know we mentioned a lot, like, so you probably may endorse some of those, but do you have anything to add to that or any other ones that you think of for superhero?
So the ones that came to my mind were One Punch Man.
Ooh, yes.
One Punch Man and Invincible.
Yes. Really? Okay,
Invincible. I don't think I've seen that. What is that?
It's the Amazon.
American anime.
Amazon.
Oh.
Amerime.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not technically
great. I love it.
It's not technically like anime, but it's animation about superheroes that's really entertaining.
I'll allow it too because it was fucking great, Kara. That was a good
It was
show. I can't
really
wait for
good.
season 2 to come out.
Yeah, but One Punch Man, for those who know, Saitama there. Very, very great. And definitely I will endorse that 100%. Funny.
I will say this. The Saitama workout is brutal. It is brutal. Be careful if you decide to start it, and make sure you stretch out. I didn't do that and about tore my Achilles. So yeah.
Drink lots of water.
Gotta have a lot of water with that too.
Satan Sinner PA says, the creators of the ultimate crossover / Miss Karatsu from the Monster Development Department. Better than The Office. Also,
What?
Goblin Slayer in the LN and Mushoku Tensei, Jobless, Oblige, Rudy's son. Oh, okay.
That's where it
Wow.
eventually goes. As I said, the whole thing with Mushoku Tensei is he's just getting started, and from what I've been told by the people that have read the light novels, is the kid of Rudius is where the story is actually supposed to really take off. What we're seeing here is, and it's being shown, is just it's just the part that sets the table. It's the table settings. And of course, Goblin Slayer. I've been reading year 0 of it. It is fantastic. And we are getting the 2nd season this fall.
Ooh.
1 month.
Ooh.
Very, very good. Very good.
Yes.
Let's see. Stephen Walk says mature anime recommendations. Redo of Healer. That is XXX recommendation right there. Fantastic adventure story.
I'm never watching that. I'm never watching that.
XXXXX. Shimonada, Konosuba, and Overlord. Now, Kara, you are a Konosuba fan.
I love Konosuba.
Okay.
I don't know
what do you love about it? What do you like about it?
Well, for one, I love Megamine and her just obsession with blowing shit up. It's just like the one spell she knows is the explosion. Of course, Darkness is the masochist who is hilarious. And then you have Konosuba, he literally has a spell that steals. It's steal, and he steals panties from girls.
I mean, I think that's functional.
Hilarious.
It's a very functional spell.
Yeah. But I personally really love Megamine. I love her. She's cute.
Perfect.
She's just chaotic.
Let's see. David Lopez for 5 said, did you all hear about Hayao Miyazaki, new film, The Boy and the Heron? How do you live? The movie is coming out in the U.S. sometime in 2023. That's what I said. Like he tries to retire, and then it's like, you know what? I'm back.
Got to show how it's done.
I'm here.
I didn't watch his. I don't even know if it was released because I know he was working on that Caterpillar movie. I don't know. I never watched it though. Did it come out? What happened to the Caterpillar?
It did. Well, as far as this one, it did get released in Japan, and it has done what you'd expect from Miyazaki in Japan. But
This
the other
film,
one, I
The
don't
Boy
know.
and the Heron?
Yeah, The Boy and the Heron. And he was extremely secretive about this.
Okay.
I don't think there was any details about it that was dropped until it was actually released.
What
At
about
least that's
that
what sticks
other
out in
one
my
that I
mind.
just said? Did that one ever come out?
Which one?
The Caterpillar one he was making.
I don't recall.
Miyazaki Caterpillar?
Yeah, he was making some movie about a caterpillar or something like that. That
what
was
the
his
hell? Is
original one. when it was-
Boro the Caterpillar?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Was it released? March 21st of 2018? I guess maybe did it only get a release in the United States?
Maybe.
I
I don't know. I remember reading that it was supposed to be released, and then I never heard anything about it again.
Wow.
Interesting. We'll have to find that. We'll have to find what happened to the caterpillars. It's a very critical question.
Oh my god, this movie, The Boy and the Heron, looks amazing. It looks so
I will
Miyazaki.
definitely watch that.
I'll be watching
100% go watch that.
Oh yeah.
I want to watch
Jack
it
White
so
says series recommendation: Classroom of Elite Bunjo's Stray Dogs. The Devil is a part timer. I do like The Devil is a part timer. That's a very good series, and it has an ending. So
Aw.
good recommendation. And then I'll read a couple more here. Jack White says the animes that have good dubs are Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Cowboy Bebop, and Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
This is
100%.
another good
Koro
one that
Sensei.
has
Oh
to get done.
yes.
Who was that?
Yes.
Koro
Sensei.
Sensei from
Kuro
Assassination
Sensei.
Classroom.
Assassination Classroom.
Oh, okay.
So
Now that one-
is a very wholesome anime.
Yes. You want to talk
Despite
about
having violence, it's a wholesome anime.
It's wholesome, but
you want to talk about how teachers should be? That's it. Koro Sensei is it. So
The
good.
epitome of good teacher.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Plus,
love
it's
how
only-
he's so fucked up looking, and you're like, this is
They explain it.
He's
It's
an
only
alien.
It's only 55
really is.
episodes long, 21 volumes. You can pick up the box set for a little less than what you'd pay for each of them. But the anime is damn near 1-for-1 to the manga. It's close.
That's a one and only time tentacles are wholesome, apparently.
Well, this was the anime or the manga was the one that recently got in trouble for being in a high school library in Florida.
Wait, what was that? Wait,
really?
hold on. What was
that? Was the one?
Yep, that's it.
Was Assassination Classroom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They got in trouble?
There was a middle school in Florida. They had volume 1 in there, and volume 1 focuses more on the kids initially trying to do their let's say amateurish assassinations. So I guess one of the kids brought it home. The dad looked at him like, "What the fuck is this?" And he bitched and moaned, and they took it out of the middle school. I understand the why, but I'm still disappointed because had they actually looked into it a little further, they would have said, buy 3 sets of the thing, have everybody read it. But that's the weeb. That's the weeb in me, because I understand it because I've seen it all the way through. It's great.
David Lopez says, I believe the Caterpillar short was released in the Ghibli Museum. Oh, interesting. I'll see if it's in the exhibit. I actually gotta go to that.
Tell me about it.
I'll see if I find it. If I do, I'll take a picture and I'll post it on Twitter. So
yes,
guys,
do
look
that.
out for that on my Twitter.
Definitely.
If you see a post of the Caterpillar, I'll be like, I found it, and I'll tag Nina and
okay,
Kara and Brandon. Let's see. Oh, also one here is the comment on Rumble. Dharma says Rudy from Jobless Reincarnation has many kids. Got to be a bit more specific. That's true. Doesn't he have like 3 waifus he knocks up? Like he definitely.
Wow.
I need to read the books.
It's like 2 or 3, right? So,
well,
yeah.
I can think. Well, sure. At this point in the anime, he definitely has. He's done 1. I can see another one being a potential, and yeah, I think there is a 3rd one that does come into play eventually. But I'd have to talk to the people that have read the light novel all the way through, that actually know that, because the anime
it's more than 1. I know it's more than 1. He's got a couple out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and I get one here, and then we'll move on to the last category. Jack White says another couple of series recommendations: Full Metal Panic and Eden's Zero.
There you go.
Very good. Okay, so we'll go to Kara on this one. So Kara, obviously right now a lot of people are really into watching a certain show on Disney Plus, or at least panning it. That is Ahsoka. Have you seen Ahsoka?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't watch Disney Star Wars.
Don't plan on it either.
You know what's funny though? So many people though, I guess it's because they have to do it for review purposes and stuff, and I get it, right? You know, it's the whole you got to watch it to review it. But it seems like everybody is suffering through this series right now. And Disney Star Wars. Look, I grew up a huge Star Wars fan. I built Lego X-Wings, Lego TIE Fighters, like Lego Y-Wing Death Star, all that stuff myself without the set. Just I did it. Right. So, I mean, I was playing Star Wars Rebellion, Dark Forces, all the Timothy Zahn books, huge Star Wars fan. I will not go near it now. I will not touch it with a 500-foot pole. Like, I will not touch it from this side of the globe to over there in the U.S. It's sad. It's really sad.
Me either, man.
Yeah. But the good news is there's a lot of replacements for Star Wars, especially in anime. There's so many replacements for this. This one I'm actually really excited about. But I want to start with Kara, right? We got our newbie here to the anime stream. So
Space Dandy.
Where would you start? Space Dandy. Low pick.
Wow.
Low pick. But all right.
I could not get into that anime, Kara.
That is so
a rogue
weird.
Pick.
That was fucked up.
Space Dandy.
Okay,
and
if you've never
magic.
done acid,
Yes,
and
it's
you
acid.
want to know what it's like,
Watch
Space Dandy, and then you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I understand what acid is like now.
Yeah, this is what it's like to be high 24/7. Like that's all legal in Thailand, but you know, I'm not playing those games. You know, it's a dangerous game. Oh man.
So that one and Knights and Magic are the ones that came to mind for me. Knights and Magic is a little bit more along like the mech lines than actual like space. But those are the two that came to mind for me.
No, that's definitely. I mean, come on, that fits, right? It definitely fits. Brandon, go to you because I know you got to go.
I'm gonna go with two. Technically, it's the same series, but it's had a not necessarily a redo, but let's say a reimagining, but not in a shitty way. I am gonna go with. Let me get it pulled up here. There we go. Doing it live. All right, there we go. If you would please.
Yes.
Trigun Stampede.
Oh
Stampede.
yeah, I haven't. I need to watch this.
What?
This
I did not know about this.
Yep.
New.
This came out. When did it come out here? Back in the beginning of the year. This is closer to Trigun and Trigun Maxim as far as the manga. It's closer to it, but as the original show marched to the beat of its own drum, basically where this show starts is closer to the end of the first one of the original run. It's from Studio Orange. It is 3D based, but it looked
Wolfwood.
really
I see
good.
Wolfwood there, so Wolfwood is alive.
Yep, it's got Wolfwood in it, and one character that didn't show up in the first series got named. We are getting both Meryl and Millie. So
Millie,
I absolutely love this. Yeah, Machine Gun Millie, the two girls that are the two lovely ladies that work for the Bernardelli Insurance Agency. Initially, with this one, Meryl is a reporter working with Roberto De Niro to get the story on Vash the Stampede, who at this time only has the $6 million double dollar bounty on his head.
Right.
Well, him and his brother
$double.
Knives.
Very important that's double dollars because inflation.
Yeah. Vash and Knives come to a head at this, and because of it, the town of July is destroyed, and that's where Vash gets the $60 billion double dollar bounty put on his head. I didn't think this was going to be very good, but after seeing the first few episodes, it was fantastic. We are getting a second season of this. I'm thinking probably closer to mid-year next year. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm hoping it's sooner. But it worked out way better than I thought it was going to. So I would say watch the original, read the source material, because there's not much in the manga, and then watch this. You will thank me that you did.
Cool.
Yeah, and with that, I do have to go. So if I may plug just a little tiny shameless plug. You're muted. Andrew, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
There
I don't know why it muted me for some random reason. But no, plug your channel real quick. If you would, you can just pull it up if you want, or I can pull it up.
All right. Well, let me pop it over here, pull it up. I am, of course, Brandon the Anime Guy. I do have my own YouTube channel. I'm also on Rumble. Of course, I tweet, and
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
I sometimes spicy tweet, so yeah. But took a little hiatus. This is the first time I've been streaming about a week, pretty close to it. And this next month, we have, according to the will of the people that voted, the theme for next month is going to be historical anime, and that's going to be a tough one because there's not really a, like on AniList, there's not really a thing for that. It doesn't really fit into any one type of thing. So that's going to be a lot of fun to go through.
But a lot of animes are set during historical settings, particularly Japan, right? Like historical Edo Japan, Edo period, right?
Yeah, a lot
like
of Edo, some Meiji,
yeah, even World War II, right? I mean, that's obviously a big one. Or
could do Spy Family.
Else.
Yep, Spy Family fits into that. So Vinland Saga would fit into it also. So we've got a whole ton. We're going to go over, but this Saturday for Anime 101 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm having a few friends of mine that have watched the One Piece Netflix rendition. We're going to talk about the first few episodes. I only had the chance to watch the first 10 minutes, but I can tell you that as far as the look of it, the beats of it, it definitely is following the manga, and at least in the first 10, there's only one thing that wasn't there, but it fits with it. It works for Luffy. Let's put it that way. So I'm definitely going to be interested to see how it turns out, because we're only the series is only 8 episodes long. They're 8 hours, 1 hour each, and they're going all the way up through Arlong Park, which in the anime is like episode 53, and the first what was it? It's like the first 4 or 5 volumes of the manga that's covered. So they've got a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. I already know one person's like, "What the hell is this?" Another friend of mine's like, "This is actually pretty good considering who it's coming from." And I can already tell this blows the absolute crap out of the Bebop. Netflix should forever burn for that. But I'm glad that Oda-san had the control that he did have. From all indications, if he didn't like it, it didn't get in. And I believe it, I haven't seen it yet, I believe that to be the case. But this Saturday, we'll know for sure. And then we're going to start going through historical animes and building the list. And if you want the lists, if you follow me on anilist.co, I have lists for anime recommendations going back to 1970 up through this current season.
Oof.
And I have 2 subsets built. An isekai subset, and this month we did a sci-fi subset. And holy shit, they're huge. There's a ton of them.
There's
I couldn't
so
believe
much.
how many.
Actually,
was a
okay,
bunch.
before you leave, you have to help me because I've been trying to figure out what the hell the name of this anime is because it's in my brain, but I don't remember it. But it had like, it's like a space opera, and it had like this girl, she's like an elf in space, and she's got like blue hair, and she's like involved in this whole galaxy war thing with this other dude.
Space elf.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, so good too. Like
I can't think of what that would be, but if you do
Chat's
want
saying
something,
Crest of the Stars.
Yes.
there you go.
Crest of
Crest
the
of the
Stars.
Stars. There
Oh, I
you go.
love
Chat
you,
knows.
chat.
Chat knows. Look at
I
that.
love
wisdom
you.
of the
Everybody,
crowd.
look at this. Look at how many people knew this. Crest of the Stars, Crest of the Stars, Crest of the
I
Stars, Crest
love
of the Stars.
Crest of
This is
the
the power of the
Stars.
weeb. The power of the weeb is that
I
everybody
love you,
knew
chat.
right away. And also Banner of the Stars as well. So I think
Yeah,
that's another
Banner of the
related
Stars
to-
and Crest of the Stars. It's so good. It's so
1999, and it is on the 96 to 99 list and on the 90 to 2005 sci-fi list. So
good. It's so good.
Awesome.
yep.
Really
so
cool.
I got to go pick up my Weebling from her friend's place. So you
Take
all
care,
have a
Brandon.
Have
wonderful
a
Thank you
good
so much.
one.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate
great
it.
night.
Take
Anytime.
care. We'll see you.
See ya.
Later.
All right. So let's get back in here. So okay, getting my recommendation for Star Wars here real quick before I get that. So my replacement in terms of a universe that has the same size of Star Wars, it was Gundam, right? Because
Okay.
if you're looking for something
Sure.
that's got the size of it, because Gundam has so many different universes, so many different characters, it's so big, there's books, there's video games. The only thing I can say like that's an anime equivalent that really compares is Gundam. You could say something like a DBZ, but Gundam is in space. It's set in space, so it's got that space element to it. So I think that as a replacement for Star Wars, I think if you're looking for a deep universe where you can go really, really deep into it, it's Gundam. And there's so many. There's New Gundam, Old Gundam, Universal Century, Wing Gundam, everything. Macross is also there, Robotech and Macross, but that's a whole separate thing. Now, not as many movies and games on the Macross side, but certainly a lot to dig into as well. So that's definitely pretty deep. Nina, do you think about anything that you would take as a Star Wars replacement?
Well, I was trying to think about like Crest of Stars for like the longest time until the chat brought it up. But I also really like Outlaw Star. So I think like Outlaw Stars would be my like go-to because I think it's just so much more fun. Crest of Stars or Banner of Stars is a little more serious. Like it's more on a more serious note. It can be a little bit slower. Outlaw Star is way more fun. It's got a lot of just, fast-paced stuff. It's just got such a good story. So I think Outlaw Star is my pick for that one.
Perfect. And Crusader Saracen on Locals agrees with you for a $1 tip. He said, instead of Disney Star Wars, watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah.
Irresponsible Space Captain Taylor. Armored Trooper Votoms, or Outlaw Star.
Outlaw Star is great. And I named the other ones before too, like Galaxy Express and Captain Harlock. I mean, those are all actually in the same universe.
Me on to Legend of the Galactic Heroes last time.
Yeah.
And I think that was when we talked about last stream we did together, Nina. So.
Yeah, the legend. Yeah, and then, but like if you want like big universe, giant universe, Captain Harlock, Galaxy Express, Queen Emeraldus, these are all the same universe. So it's all different series. Spaceship Yamamoto. It's all in the same thing. So you can get into that universe as well, and they're all different series.
Mm-hmm.
So
Perfect. Wolf's Pain for 5 says recommendations for sci-fi political. Most Gundam anime not named G Witch. Watch It's a Gundam's video for explanation. Shout out to It's a Gundam. Gurren Lagann Code Geass in Samurai 7. Code Geass is interesting because it's got the other element to it of like the superpowers.
I was so into Code Geass until the ending, and I was like, I fucking hate this series so much.
It's a bad ending.
It was a terrible ending. I was like so upset. I was so upset.
Yeah, you're like, screw these guys.
Yeah. I was very invested. So I was like, fuck you.
It's like, damn you, Lelouch.
Yeah, totally.
Jaramu says, last one, guys. Don't forget the OG, the god of manga, Osamu Tezuka. Some of his stuff is just as hard and philosophical as today's work, worth a trip down memory lane. So there you go, guys. Check out Osamu Tezuka for manga, for serious manga. So we did it. We got through everything. We got through all those recommendations. But I want to give kind of an open forum for you ladies to give any recommendations for things you are watching. Maybe they didn't fit as a comparison. Maybe just an open forum for you guys to give 1 or 2 recommendations of things that you like, maybe you've watched recently, or things you just love, and maybe you didn't hear us talk about it yet. So Nina and then Kara.
Kara, what was your space suggestion again? I need to write that down.
Space Dandy.
Oh, Space Dandy. That's right.
So do acid. Yes.
You were on drugs. That's right.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God.
It's definitely an interesting one. My husband and I, we just had a fun time watching it. It was one whenever Funimation was still around. And or at least the Funimation streaming was still around. We watched it on that, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
How could I forget Space Dandy? That's right, Drug Town. It was good. It was good. It was fucked up of fun.
It was late night. I remember watching that late night when I was back in Miami. It was on like Adult Swim, and I was like, I am not high and or drunk enough for this.
Yeah,
I'm just like not. I can't.
I'm not there. I'm like, I'm not on the same level.
I can't right now. Like Excel Saga was there too, but like Excel Saga at least had like a little bit more of a.
I'm not saying it's bad because
like
somebody said Space Dandy's good. I don't know what Nina's on. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like being on acid. Like it's just so crazy out there that is just like holy shit. It's just a lot visually.
Yes.
I think one that I didn't bring up at all that I think could have had a better ending was Claymore.
Oh my God, yes. But that never got an ending.
Someone mentioned
exactly
ending. That was so good.
They never finished it, and it was so good. And one that I'm watching now is the Digimon Adventures remake from 2020. Is what I'm watching right now.
Andrew's like, I would never watch that. That is hilarious.
No.
It's a retelling. It's actually really interesting.
I'm happy that you like it. Okay, it's like I am happy that you like it. Once again, there's a thing about Japanese anime and about anime in general is that there's a primary market for everything, and it's okay that I'm not the primary market for everything.
Yeah, of course.
That's totally okay. It's okay to like different things. It's totally normal. Like
exactly.
What's wrong with that? You like it. I'm glad to see you happy about that. Like I think it's adorable, you know.
I love it.
So like when I see people happy about that. But then I'm with Soul the Meg guy here who says Jinro the Wolf Brigade. That's something that the ladies probably not as interested in Jinro the Wolf Brigade. It's about, you know, like a lot of like these gas mask wearing troopers in an authoritarian lockdown.
I think I've seen it and I think I really liked it.
Yeah, it's psychological, but very violent. A lot of people dying. A lot of like.
Oh yeah, that
bombs
was
blowing
it
up
was
people,
hardcore, but I have
war.
seen it. It was good,
Okay,
but it was
it's good,
fucked
but I
up.
mean,
It's
it's a
dark.
harder sell. It's a
Yeah.
harder sell
It's dark.
than Digimon.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a harder sell.
It's dark. It's dark shit.
I'm like, hey baby, you want to
somebody
go watch this
mentioned-
dark shit? You know.
See, somebody mentioned Jujutsu Kaisen in the chat. I love Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer. All of those are really good. They're just beautiful to watch.
Says Noko Urasawa's Monster. We mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
That's
You
one of my
told me
favorite
about that
animes.
one, Nina. I
That's
still need
one of
to
my
watch
favorite
that. It's on my
animes of all
list.
time. Really good.
Jack White says some more series recommendations. Black Clover, More Than a Married Couple but Not Lovers, and Malevolent Spirits Monogatari. Yes,
I tried
Very
Black
good.
Clover, but the main character just screamed and cried too much.
Okay, so there's a comment here from the beginning, and I want to get this. I was waiting on this. So New Horizons for 5 earlier said the only issue with JP stories is the main character is usually a pansy of some kind. Yeah. If not, it's overly in the other direction. I don't know. I think, look, it's very believable for a teenage character to be unsure of themselves, and to be not confident yet. That's part of like growing up and going from like being a boy to being a man, right? It's like gaining confidence. So I'm okay with the stories. Like when you're used to watching like action hero movies or something else, you're used to everybody being super confident all the time. Sometimes that will throw you off to have a non-confident character, but it can be kind of refreshing to see non-confident people become confident, see the journey, right?
See,
And
I'm perfectly fine with a character that's not confident. It's more of them just screaming and crying all the time. That's my biggest kind of turn off away from it. That was one of my biggest problems with Izuku Midoriya in My Hero Academia, is how much he cried in that first season.
I stopped watching the other one for that reason. The one you just mentioned, Kara. Not me.
Oh, Black Clover. Black Clover.
No. Like... Demon Slayer.
Oh, Demon Slayer. Yes, I stand Zenitsu.
That fucking kid. I was like, I'm done.
Like he was the reason I initially stopped watching Demon Slayer, was because Zenitsu drove me insane.
I stopped watching it because of that guy. I was like, I'm out.
I can't stand him.
Is he guys crying all the time or something? Or
yes. All the time. Like he's got nothing else. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for him to like come out with his like ultimate power. So I'm like, okay, this guy's like worth it for him to be this annoying. And it wasn't worth it.
Right.
So I was like, fuck this. Like, why am I watching this? I hate
Right. And look, I can get through some development, but you're right. If it gets to the point where the character is crying all the time, I turn it off. But there's so many others that are not like that. I'm sorry, but there's like so many other options where the main character is not crying all the time. Like it's different if it's a very important moment or an inflective moment, or if the plot's been building up to that, right? But not teary-eyed 24/7. No, we're not going there. Okay, this is hilarious. Felzu for 5 says no one has mentioned the best anime ever, Rent a Girlfriend. Show's peak. Something
I'm
can
sure
really do.
Andrew is really into this.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's why you're in Asia, right?
Big incel energy here, renting girlfriends left and right. Over here renting.
I
Don't
love
buy,
it.
just rent, ladies and gentlemen.
Just rent. I love it.
Just rent.
That's what Camelot says all the time.
Well, he's got the fight milk in him. He can't be wrong. Very good. Let's see here. Blue Fire says, I recommend checking out Gun X Sword, a pretty good anime that includes revenge, giant robot fights, and super stylish animation. Gun X Sword. You guys are giving me a lot of good recommendations for the future. So I'm kind of excited now. Kind of excited to have a lot of new good anime to check out. Jack White says, an ecchi anime, which is dirty, for the gentleman on this panel is Him Kisakai ga Classmates. So something with your classmate.
Hime Kishiga? Hime Kishiga.
Hime
Kishiga.
Kishiga.
Hime Kishiga.
Let's see what the English translation.
Princess, right?
Yeah.
Princess, yeah. So very interesting. So I will put that one on the looks. Oh wait, no, this is a troll answer. This is a troll answer, I think, because it got me to Google it. Yeah. I think this is the one of those like ones where it's like, and then he
it's
Googles
hentai.
It's hentai. Stephen Walk says with Zenitsu next season, he gets much better.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I still
Very
need
good.
to watch it. I know Blacksmith Village is going on. I just haven't caught up to it yet. I haven't watched it recently.
Well, the funny part is I went and started reading the manga because I was like, I can't watch this guy, but I'll read the manga so I can see what's going on.
Right.
But I can't
That's
stand
a good
like
idea.
because it's constant like and it's like tears coming down. It's just like, oh my god, like I can't stand you. But like, you know, in manga form, we can just flip the page.
Yeah, just keep going. Just like, all right, next.
Exactly.
You know, you're like next one. Let's see. Ted Park with a $5 super sticker. Thank you. I have sights to show you. Says Gundam made Yellow Flash cry like a little girl.
That's an epic.
Nina,
that's
did
epic
you ever say
lore
what?
Right there.
Did he ever say what specifically in the lore? Like, I'm not caught. What specific moment
I don't
in Gundam made him cry?
exactly know the moment. It was just, I think when he finished watching it, he like cried because it was like such a good story. He was like, this was a great story. I think, I don't know, maybe the chat can correct me.
The chat can give us the truth. Like, why did Flash cry during Gundam?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he cry? We want to know. Saul the Met guy says, watch Gungrave. The story is better than the games. Yes, Gungrave is a very good anime. Very sad, a little bit sad, but it's a good story. Ippo, the fighting is the best sports anime. Some people mention Baki as well.
I've heard of Baki.
Baki's very adult though. That is very and like hard R / adult only, because there's some definite adult themes in there with the kids and their parentage. Dehako says Neon Genesis Evangelion, Perfect Blue, yes. Silent Mobius, Bubblegum Crisis series, Celestial Legends, some other favorites of mine. Yes, Perfect Blue with the vagina aliens. I absolutely love it.
No, wholesome one. Perfect you can Blue watch is not My Goddess.
Oh, sorry, no, that's Blue Gender.
Yeah, that's Blue Gender, and that's great. But Perfect Blue is the crazy fucking anime that's based on a true story of that stalker fucking guy. That stalked. What's her name? Bjork.
Yes. Okay, you're exactly right about that.
That was a really good fucking anime. Also Paprika, Brandon's mentioning in the chat, made by the same guy. It was really freaking good. One of his other movies though, I really disliked. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, man, this movie's trash. But I think it's I don't know if it's the same guy. Summer Wars was good too.
I have that on my list. Is Summer Wars.
That's good. Summer Wars is good. You'll love it.
Summer Wars.
Let's see. Sabine's Cheshire Cat for 5 says, have watched anime since 81. Whoa. My favorite isekai is Yojo Senkai, aka the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Yes, I've heard of that one as well.
Oh, okay. Tokyo Godfathers is the one I don't like that he made. It's still good, but it wasn't like the best for me. Like, it's just not my preference.
You don't like it, you know?
But Millennium Actress, that's also another one that's fucking great. Like, it's a fantastic movie. I really love that movie.
I mean, this art looks pretty intense. Like, this is like the one you recommended, Tanya the Evil. Like,
that looks intense.
That looks intense. Like, that's gotta be ready for that.
Gives me JoJo vibes. Just a little bit.
Some JoJo vibes for sure. Let's see what else we got here. So we got that one. Place to Place is a good recommendation for slice of life. Not heard of that one.
Now, if you guys want to read a good isekai, there's a book called He Who Fights with Monsters. It's by this writer who's they go by Shirtaloon from Australia, and it is absolutely hilarious. It's kind of like this guy gets sucked into this new world, and it's basically him as a video game character. It's fantastic. I think there's like 10 books, and they're all kind of like the RPG lit type books. They're a lot of fun. They're just very quirky, very witty. They're great.
Russell for
Can I
says
bring up
Detroit
one
Metal
more that I
Cities.
really liked?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I actually saw somebody bring it up in the chat, Power Keg, and I had this pulled up, but it's Read or Die. It's a really random anime.
Read or Die, yes.
Yeah, and it's fucking great. It's just a really, really fun, very short. It's super just fun. It's just a fun anime. There you go.
Okay, N3CCO is getting me a little bit salty here because Spice and Wolf was a good one, but I'm not sure whether they're ending it, and that's one of those ones that didn't feel like it had an ending. And I watched it, and I'm like, crap! I just watched something that didn't have an ending, and it's like that lesson I need to the Nina lesson, right? Like I need to learn the lesson. Spice and Wolf was one of the ones that, like, I think recently, it wasn't too recent, like 3-4 years ago, I watched that. But that was one of the ones where, like, I really need to stop watching animes that don't have an ending because it bothers me in an intrinsic way when they leave the story open and they don't finish it. It's different.
The other one
if there's
for me was
conclusion.
Berserk, man. Berserk, like, and then the dude died, and then now they're like, oh yeah, his son's gonna do it, and I'm like, it's not the same, but okay.
It's not gonna be the same. They got notes, but I mean, it's still not the same.
It's not the same.
Base player for 999 says, low hanging fruit here. Death Note, Soul Eater, Initial D, Danganronpa, Less So, One Gun Midnight, Akagi, Deadly Man Wonderland. Very good. I like Deadly Wonderland. And Gantz, read the manga. They cut out so much anime. Okay. I love that no matter where I go in the world, anywhere, Tokyo, Seoul, here in Thailand, they always have the Initial D car games, the arcade games.
Oh,
those
that's
are
cool.
everywhere. They're great.
That's cool.
Those are fantastic. But yeah, Death Note is classic, I think. I don't know. Did you guys watch the Netflix adaptation of Death Note?
No, because I heard it was trash.
It was
Why
mad,
would I
right?
watch that?
Yeah. City Hunter, very 80s and very pervy. Okay, for the adults out there. Jack White says a certain magical index and its spin-offs are good, and Eureka 7 too. Okay, perfect. You seem to have forgotten Domestic Girlfriend. Wait, is that like the opposite of Rented Girlfriend?
I guess.
Girlfriend? Yeah, I guess I have to like look this up now. What the art looks like on this. Okay, it just looks like a kind of regular harem looking anime.
Okay. You guys want to know another good?
Okay, it's pretty normal. Normal harem anime.
This is another like really good movie. That's just like a really short watch, but it's good. It's called A Wind Called Amnesia.
Wind Called Amnesia?
It's really fucking good.
Wind Called Amnesia. Excellent. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yes, and definitely 80s look, right? I mean, this looks like
it's
90s, maybe?
90s.
90s?
93.
I mean, I'd say the hair, like this is like hair metal band level hair, So very good. Very good. Kimba the White Lion.
Oh yeah, Kimba.
I love Kimba.
Super wholesome.
Kimba's so wholesome. That's right. How could we ever forget Kimba?
Was that before The Lion King?
Yes.
So did The Lion King knock this off?
Well, it knocked it off that, and of course Hamlet, which is basically the story.
Sure, but I mean, like, you literally got like a rock here and a monkey, and like,
yeah,
like,
you
come on.
literally
Got Zazu
bird,
up top.
the fucking Zazu.
Yeah.
It
Like you
ripped
got
it off
everything.
hard.
This is real hard knockoff. David Murnane says, I sometimes watch English dub with Japanese subs and play Spot the Difference. Okay, all right, that's interesting.
I've done that before.
Kara said, did you see the new slime? Kara, did you see the new slime movie Scarlet Band?
Bond?
Scarlet Bond? Sorry, Scarlet Bond.
I haven't watched any of the new slime stuff.
Okay, well, maybe you should, Kara.
God,
I do
Kara,
need to.
get
Hold
on
on.
it.
I have been a slacker.
I know. You're fired.
Shush.
Russell Hall says, also, Ghost Story, especially the rabbit episode.
I don't trust anything Russell has to say. I'm not even going to Google this.
Is this all like
Andrew,
the
can you
hentai
Google it? I
suggestions?
don't trust Russell.
Yeah, my Google history is already really, really bad.
Exactly. That's why you should Google it and tell me if
I
Russell's
think I've already been trolled on this one.
okay. Great. See, this is why I don't listen to Russell Hall.
Yeah. I think I've already been trolled on this one. Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay, yeah. It's a good troll. For romance, I recommend Clannad, You Will Cry.
Clannad,
that one.
I
Clannad,
hate it,
Clannad.
in the best way, like because it made
Well,
me
that's like
very upset.
what's that one? Your Lie in April. You know.
Oh my god! Like, okay, dude, that's actually one of
can't
my
watch
pet
those shows.
peeves about exactly. Like, I cannot watch two styles of animes that are not just not my jam. Okay, it's totally cool if it's yours. It's just not mine. One is slice of life because I just don't care about living like just watching people live their life. Like, I don't care. I'm like, okay, does anything happen? No. Okay, never mind. Two is the weird Clannad ones that you're like the weird. Let's just make people as depressed as possible so that they slit their wrist. I'm like, that style of shit. I'm like, I'm just not down, man. Like, I don't care about crying all day. I already cry. Other than that,
it's enough already. You don't need to add it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to kill you like that. Another series recommendation is Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World. So Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World. So that looks like it's actually even more recent. So a little bit more recent.
Clannad was happy. Clannad was happy.
Fafnir in the Azure is a good story. All right, very good.
And let's see.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, Fafnir just sounds cool. Recommend Blast of Tempest and Shinseki Yori. Okay, thank you much.
Wait, that sounds really familiar. Shinseki Yori?
Shinseki Yori. Yeah. I'll pull this up real quick. From the New World.
From the New World. Oh my god, there's a bunch of gay dudes kissing.
Do we get trolled?
I think this is a troll. Maybe.
Okay, got that one. Butterbiscuit92 said Yoamushi Pedal is the most wholesome thing you'll ever watch. So moving back away from the degenerate stuff, you degens. Watching young men work their butts encouraged me to lose weight. Sports anime, right? Yeah, and honestly, like that's what I love to hear is people saying, "Hey, look, I watched this and like, I was kind of feeling down. I watched this, I felt better." That's something you don't get from any woke media. Like, you don't feel better. The only thing you might feel is like feel shitty, right? Or feel horrible or feel mad, but like not better about yourself. Not like I can do this, right? I think that's one of the most positive things I get from anime.
What is this stuff that like I just talked about called? Because you know how everything's called something? The depressing anime. Like what is that called?
Oh gosh. Well, there's probably a name for it. I don't know. Chat might know. Like
Chat,
the
what is that whole genre of anime called?
It's
forget. I know it has
called
a name.
Dire. No, it's like a type. Yeah, it's some type of. So the characters would be because Dires are all the characters, right? Like Tsundere and whatever. But like, it's not the archetype. It's the type of. It's like literally the type of. The type of anime.
Maybe it's seppukai. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea.
No, seppuku. I mean, it makes you want to commit. That's suicide. Yeah, I mean, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it like
seppuku. Yeah, that's it. It should be called that. That's what it should be called.
Seppuku-akai. Yeah. But no, I mean, seriously though. I mean, all jokes aside, like, don't watch that sort of stuff if you're not mentally
if you're depressed, especially, like, don't watch those.
Do not watch these things, because the problem is, I think like a lot of people may get that idea, and that's definitely
emo. Somebody said, I love it.
emo anime,
Yeah, emo.
Let's see. Have any of you watched the ancient anime called Fang of the Sun Dugam? OG giant robots as anime should be. I have not watched it, but I googled it. Looks like really classic old school anime, a la old school Robotech.
Fang of the Sun Darugam. Okay, hold on. I gotta write this down.
Dugram. I'll put it real quick again. Fang.
I got it.
Yeah, it's very old school style. Ooh. Like you pull this up and you're like,
I'm so into old school anime. This is right up my alley.
It's classic. It's just classic.
I love
look at this. Look at this aesthetic. Where do you get this aesthetic?
Yeah,
nowadays?
man, this is great. This is awesome. You
cannot do this in Hollywood. You cannot do this anywhere else. You just do this back in the day, but it's so awesome and it just is fun. What it is.
This is fun. You can tell this is fun.
And they just have fun. They don't worry about all the woke stuff. Another series recommendation is Remake Our Life. Okay. Legend of the Galactic Heroes in Wicked City. Yes, Legend of the Galactic Heroes got some big love. Last anime we streamed, we got a lot of love for Legend of Galactic Heroes. That was probably like one of the ones that everyone was coming out of nowhere, like second, third, fourth, fifth. So that's one that's on my list of things to watch. Is Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
So good.
And then one more series recommendation is Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers.
Okay,
I think that one actually. I think that one's getting a live action. Yeah, I saw in like Korea there was an advertisement for the live action. It may not get to the US. It might just be like an Asian remake, which honestly a lot of times those work better, right? Because like the characters are like they are in the setting, so it's like it feels more natural.
Tokyo Revengers is a lot newer too, it seems like.
Yes, much newer.
Much
and then over here on Rumble we got one that says ahem. Dear S, the world's finest assassin, Redo, Slime, Panty and Stocking, Yusuke no Sora, High School DxD, Shield Hero, Food Wars, XXX Holic, Cardcaptor Sakura, Overlord, Moonphase, Alice, and Zuroku. I think that's when we're getting into recommendations for animes, all of which, most of which I've heard of and endorse. Almost all of those that I've heard of. So, Food Wars, Shield Hero, High School DxD, Alice, Redo, Slime, World's Finest Assassin. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Guys, we did it. We got through it all, and we got. Oh, and there's one more here from Rio Hydro PX. Yeah. Would you honestly be okay? Would you females be okay like Nick's wife and go along with his fun and expose yourself? Wait, what? Okay.
What does this have to do with anime?
Hydro, off topic, bro. Off topic. But I read your super chat, so there we go.
Off topic and inappropriate.
Inappropriate, yeah. We're
although Nick hates that word. When I
said
inappropriate, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna say it in front of him just to piss him off then.
Yeah, in front of him, and then he was like, I hate that word. He like fucking got all triggered. It was really funny.
Yeah, no, definitely triggering Nick. I'm here for triggering Nick.
If you want to trigger him, say the word inappropriate or inappropriate. Yeah.
He still has my sunglasses, so he can die. He can burn in a fire in Minecraft. As far as I'm concerned.
Damn!
Wow. I'm messing up. But that being said, ladies, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I do hope that you go over here to subscribe to Nina Infinity on her channel here. Now, Kara, you have a channel, right? It's I think like Kara Creates or
yes.
I've tagged you in the description, so they're in the description. You can find her.
Thank you.
Yes.
I stream here and on Twitch. And my username on Twitch is just Carolyn.
Yay!
Perfect. So go find Kara.
Awesome. And she comes on Toxic Femme on Mondays, usually, like when she's not busy.
Most of the time.
Comes on. Yeah.
So appreciate you, ladies. I really hope they come on both your channels in the future. Definitely, Nina. I know you always reach out to me, and Kara, I'm happy to stream with you anytime if you ever want to do something on your channel, and particularly if it's about anime. Thank you, Base Chads in the chat. You guys have been really great. I will be probably take a little break on Saturday and Sunday, for the weekend. But we'll be back. I'll probably be doing a Bangkok Bros if Ben is feeling better on Sunday, my time, which will be your Saturday night. But otherwise, I will see you guys later. Take care.